But at least now it can't get much worse.
But it did get worse.
How's it going, guys? It's Monday. And it got worse for Joe, and it got worse for SuperGirl. How's it going? I've got to turn the chat on. Make sure I'm sure something's broken because something's always broken on Monday, but we'll see what we can do. We know who's broken. It's Joe. Now, this was, if we do a little bit of a backtrack, let me see how was your weekend? I'm glad you asked. We're going to talk about my weekend. I had a pretty interesting weekend, but we'll do a little bit of recap, okay, first, and then we'll go into the pre-show stuff, and then we'll get into the Joe segment. Then we got some Jim Sterling and some other stuff for you as well. Now, Joe, this is T-minus 1 day before SuperGirl. Joe's make a plea to the audience.
I am looking forward to it, and I hope it does well. Please go out and support it. Please go out and support it. Go out and support your boy, okay? You go out and watch the movie, you're supporting what your boy likes.
All right. So Joe was obviously being pretty cringe, shilling for the corporate overlords. Now, after he got back from the movie, we're actually watching the stages of despair and depression and loss and grief going out throughout this video. We did check this one out. This is about his 31-minute no spoiler review. He goes through it saying how he loves the movie, and then he slowly comes to the realization that it's terrible. His other boys here are like, they're down in despair. They're like hating their life. They know that they're getting canned. And Joe concedes that it's only a 5 out of 10. But unfortunately, he went to see it again. And on repeated watchings, it did not hold up. People are telling me that DSP was spotted wearing Depends. I don't know if that's true or not, but I don't know. If you've got anything to back this up, maybe we'll take a look. I don't usually cover DSP, but maybe for like the stream, we'll see. So things are going very badly for Joe, but it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. Joe posted today saying, I rant for an hour on why I hated SuperGirl. Did my opinion change on my second viewing? No, in fact, it got worse. All of the moments that bothered me and analyzing its pending box office failure and what it means for the future of the DCU. He's not a happy camper. Not very happy at all. We got the Watcher with the £2. He says, replay crew watching live. Let's fucking go. We'll get into the Joe stuff in just a second. We're going to go through the preamble stuff. So first of all, how was your weekend? Great question. I got hit by 2 typhoons. This is my footage that I recorded over the weekend. Well, I mean, they're from Friday onwards, basically. This river is usually like so chill, you can like walk across it. It's like a foot deep. There was massive flooding in Kyoto. We got hit by double typhoons. This entire area over here was underwater. And there was like logs everywhere. There's actually places where this, and I posted this on Twitter, you can see that pieces of the masonry in the Kamogawa River was actually ripped out of the ground. Some pretty intense stuff over here. And like even the path is being destroyed. It's bad. But you know what's really cool is that I was able to see a bunch of these Japanese giant salamanders, which can grow to about 5 to 6 feet long, which is about the same size as I am. Hopefully the 6 feet, not the 5 feet. Although I'm much heavier than them, obviously. And these things are absolutely incredible. They're just like big axolotls, basically. Look at him. He's climbing the wall. He has to go back upstream because he's been washed down. They're so adorable. They've got these little cute faces. They remind me of like the Toei Godzilla, but they're very, very chill. Although, unfortunately, there was some Japanese Karens because like this area that was all underwater with this little bird here, and I found a snake and everything. It's all very, very, very cool. There was a lady's like yelling, "It's dangerous! It's dangerous!" I'm like, yeah, I know all about flash flooding. Just let me be. Let me take my chances. And even the cops showed up, and I had a chat with them because they showed up to film the giant salamanders. This was there was some big boys. Like, holy shit, there were some big boys. Like, this one wasn't that big. This was only about 2 feet long. But I was chatting with the cops over here, and they're talking that most of these are actually, and these things live for about 100 years, actually. This is your history lesson, like, or biology lesson. These things could live for over a century, and they only have to eat once a month. They're basically just ambush predators. But most of them are being like hybridized between the Chinese Japanese salamanders. They got introduced. They're an invasive species. So a bunch of people went from the Kyoto aquarium, showed up and like confiscated a bunch of these. But I saw about 12 of them escape. But as you can see, it was pretty bad. It was pretty fucking bad. If anyone's ever been to the Kamogawa, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But there's like one funny thing though. Oh, hold on to show you some of the things. Like this river is like I kid you not, it's like 2 fingers deep or something. But you know what's funny is when I was walking, because this entire area was underwater, as you can see by the weeds. I was waiting for the water to subside on Friday, and then I was like walking down there, and there's a guy in the distance here, and this was about 11 a.m. Okay, so for context, this is about 11 a.m. This is important to the story. Oh, there's a little fish trying to escape the salamander there. And as I was walking down, this one British lad over here, he starts walking up to me with a Tories Strong Zero. Or I guess it isn't Tories for a Strong Zero, but the Strong Zero is basically like the, it's like the White Claw, but it's like 7% alcohol. And he's already drunk. And I was just chatting to him, and he's been living in Kyoto. Like this always happens. Whenever there's like these like 50-year-old British drunk men in Japan, they always come and talk to me for some reason. The last time one of them came up to me, he was going to see his divorced family at 9 a.m. and he was already plastered. This guy was also maybe not doing so much better. I mean, he was a friendly guy. He just wouldn't leave me alone. Like he just kept talking to me, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to go film the area and destruction. He's like, oh, I'll come with you. I'm like, no, go away. Well, I didn't say this because I didn't want to offend him. But I just like tricked him. I found some other tourists, and I got like they were asking a question to me, and I was like, just you should ask this guy. He's lived here longer than me. And then as soon as he was talking to them, I ran away. Basically, he's lonely. I mean, it was a Friday at 11 a.m. and he was already drinking like the White Claws. It was like he was. I got shit to do. Okay, I'm not risking my neck down in these floodplains to talk to these old British men. But yeah, it was an interesting thing. You can see that I like the bicycle here. Anyway, that's enough of that. You can see the Japanese police there with the little cell phones. All right, let's get into the pre-stuff. We got a little story in 3 parts here.
Bronx.
The first one, and this is about Hassan. So Hassan is being a bit of a weird boy recently. All right, we can get rid of the weekend question there now. And he's got this new defense where everyone that criticizes him wants to F him, okay? Like, I don't know who this guy is. What is it?
Telling an Afro-Latino man from the
Michael Reporter.
Brooklyn, he better act right. Fuck out of here, dick lips. New York City, you're allowing this arrogant, clueless non-New Yorkers who I guarantee you can't find Brooklyn on a map from the Bronx to tell New Yorkers what's good for New York. Fuck these con artists, each and every one of them. Look at this dickhead.
Say the line, Hassan. There's so much dead air on his stream.
Michael Rappaport wants to fuck me, I think.
Okay, that's his commentary. Michael Rappaport wants to fuck.
I don't.
Okay. Is this working now? It wasn't muted. It was an audio issue. Okay. What did I? How long was it muted for? It's good now. Yeah, I know. Like it was like a signal drop or something. I don't know. Very embarrassing. Anyway, where was I? Basically, whatever I said was Hassan is accusing everyone of want to fuck him, and everyone keeps calling him very feminine. Here's the conclusion of the story. In that, well, I mean, let's see for yourself here. Let's see for yourself. I'm like crestfallen now that the audio like fucked out.
Hassan's on some sort of new drug.
Ozempic, the new version of Ozempic, which is Retrutide, which is what Clavicular has been using. It's going to be, I think it already completed its 3rd phase of the clinical trials. So Eli Lilly is going to be mass distributing it soon, and your boy will be on it. All of the GLP-1 agonists, they melt.
So Hassan is fat. He's fat and he's going on weight loss drugs, the same one that Clavicular is using. Bros, where's my sound? The sound's working now. Don't even pretend it's not working.
You're fat. They suppress your appetite. They cancel out food noise. And if you've ever been a fatty, if you're a former fatty, if you're a current fatty, you know exactly what that is. It's literally food noise is a constant thing. I'm always thinking about food. There's not a.
What the fuck is food noise?
We know. We know, man. We know.
I got to turn off the chat for him because Hassan's got his.
Everybody knows.
Single moment of the day where I'm not thinking about food.
When I call them trans fat.
Like, hold on. All right, so Hassan's is trans fat. So he's a fat, but not in the body of a fat. But he's thinking about, like, even I don't think about food every moment of the day. And I'm a trim 250 kgs, okay? This is ridiculous.
It's a state. Being fat is a state of mind. There are people that are 500 pounds that aren't fat, and there's people that are 150 pounds that are fat.
Interesting.
It's a state of mind.
Eating food, I'm thinking about my next meal. And this is something that a lot of people
Like, he's even thinking about food while he's eating? That's some next level fat shit.
don't realize. Like, this is a very real thing that former fatties know very well and current fatties know very well.
Is this true? Former fatties in the chat. Can anyone please respond? Like, I don't know. I just have a cup of coffee in the morning and I don't eat breakfast and I usually skip lunch and I just have a big dinner. That's basically what I do every day. It's like, not eating food is the easiest thing in the world. Just don't eat. It's like, how hard is it to not do something?
I think about food every single second of the day. I think
Every
about food.
second.
I dream about food. I dream about foods that I haven't consumed yet.
He dreams about food?
Oh my god!
What an interesting character trait that is. The wealthy, rich communist who's very hungry all the hungry Hassan.
Oh wow!
I dream about, what kind of food that I would have, and then it makes me sad because I'm like, oh my God.
Wait a minute. He dreams about food and then he gets sad. Like if you order the soup instead of the salad or something, and you're like, damn it, I lost my chance. I could have had the fries. Oh. Imagine having the audacity of accusing people of wanting to fuck you because you're feminine coded, and then you're going on drugs because you're too fat. And then like Hassan shitting on aside, he's not in bad shape or anything. So this is a crazy thing. He's just like, I'm going to go on the looks maxing drug. That's like, it's not even finished testing. There's going to be some wild fucking side effects from these things years going on in the future.
God, I can't have that food because if I have that food, I'm going to gain weight. It's literally...
Okay, that's the most feminine coded thing I've ever heard. You can't eat that food because you're going to gain weight. Like, you can't have a pizza. You can't have a jelly-filled donut. Just eat what you want and just work it off later.
Oh my god! Wow. Your ages on you to try and forget about food? I guess so.
all I think about all the time. As a matter of fact, now that I'm talking about it, I'm sure plenty of other people are also thinking
now you're thinking about it again.
There's not a...
Is there any, like, by the way, he's wearing a hat that says the Democratic Socialists of America. He's trying to be big boy now by wearing his suits, because I guess he got made fun of too many times for wearing his shit clothes.
Single moment where food is not in my mind. Not even just in my mind, but top of my mind.
Holy shit, man.
This actually makes a lot of sense now that I think about it, because back during the JXE drama, The Man of Steel, which is a very funny title that ETHAP came up for Hassan, where he would just play people's videos and then go make food for 30 minutes and come back and eat and then add like one comment or something. He was saying, when people were like, why don't you pause the video or play like some highlights or something, or just not steal content, Hassan was like, what do you expect me to do? Just die? Like, and everyone was like, no, it's just food. Like, you can order food or something. Like, just pause it, or like come back to streaming later after you've had lunch. But he was actually saying that, like, no, you guys want me to starve to death. It all makes sense now, because he's thinking about food every fucking second of the day. He's so hungry. That'd be a terrible thing to be, actually. It's like almost like a curse. The man who could eat anything he wanted, but he's still hungry.
Oh my god.
Okay? In a way that is...
You've been the same weight since you were 23. Me too.
way that literally, like, changes the dynamic of the day for me. Okay?
This whole way?
It's in my mind while I'm literally eating food. Okay?
You're thinking about eating more food while you're eating... Oh my god.
Okay? And
he probably has a tapeworm. Unironically, I was thinking about that. Like, I was like, does this guy have a fucking tapeworm or something? It's not normal, right? Unless you have some sort of parasites. I mean, that would make a lot of sense if he's parasitic inside and out.
it is a weight
Oh my god.
that I have to constantly deal with on my shoulders. Gauge time by when I will eat again, that too.
It's his struggle. when he gauges time by how much he eat or when he eats, it's like Jeremy. He like tracks time by how many weekends have passed. This man's like, how long has it been since I've had lunch and second breakfast?
Gauging time by when he's gonna eat again.
What's my weight? Everybody knows my weight. It's 250 pounds, kilos.
Jesus. It's been 3 foods since yesterday. More like 7 foods since yesterday.
And like, I can understand being hungry all the time if you've got like a really active life. You're like hiking all day or going to the gym. He sits in a chair for 8 hours. Like, just have a cup of coffee or something. That's like literally all you need.
It sucks. It's ass. And I know, like,
do you feel sorry for him, chat? Press 1 if you feel sorry for Sign in chat.
people don't understand this because, like, there are just people out there who don't do that.
Yeah, nobody understands his struggle. He's the most oppressed person, actually.
Like, there are people out there who do not experience that at all.
Yes.
Okay? Which is so strange to me because I've never known a moment in my life where I haven't been like that.
Honestly, I bet that sucks. I do. I bet it sucks. I hope he can go on the medication and it'll help him.
Is this an attack on Sean? No, I think like Asman was saying that like there's fat people who are like 150 pounds and there's like thin people that are 500 pounds. Sean isn't fat mentally. He's physically fat, but on he doesn't have the fat person attitude. You know what I mean?
I mean, like,
it's like how there's a black never mind.
I mean, if it's really that bad, that really sucks.
A lot of people who've just never had that issue will be like, what do you mean just stop eating? It's like, dude, it's not that easy. You're out of your fucking mind.
It's how is it hard to not do something? It's literally the easiest state imaginable.
Not gonna lie, I fucking hate eating. Yeah, I will never know that feeling. I will never know what it feels like to hate eating. Like, eating food is literally part of the reason why I exist.
He's just an animal. It's just consume and move. Like, I guess this is the theme for tonight's show, is consume product and move on. Although I'm not sure how that's going to work in with the gym stuff that's later on.
Perhaps it's also the reason, maybe it's part of the reason why I have never felt like chronic depression in my life.
I mean, this is true. I eat a lot of food and I don't get depressed either.
Because why be depressed? I have food to eat, like new foods I haven't tasted yet, or even old.
Well, I was going to jump off a bridge and rope myself at the same time, but I haven't tried those new maki rolls from Jiro Sushi. Better put it off till tomorrow.
Foods that I have tasted that I would like to taste again. You know what I mean? Like, I have a reason for existence, and that is eating.
Holy.
That's wild.
Holy. Oh my God.
He truly is a cockroach. He just runs around eating crumbs. He's not beating the allegations.
Wow. You can't use Ozempic long term. The shit's only short term. He'll get that Ozempic face like Amy Schumer. Oh no.
Is Ozempic face real? Or is it just because people are old? Is my question. Does Ozempic just indiscriminately target all fat or something, and it's like taking out the fat from the face, which usually is the last to go? Because I know like Ethan kind of had a creepy face when he was, I think he was on Ozempic, right? Ethan Klein.
Oh my God. I sympathize with. Yeah, I mean, I bet it sucks. I do. I bet it sucks. I mean, everybody has their demons.
All right, that's enough. That was just the pre-show stuff I was going to do, but then I got like completely bamboozled by the fucking I don't know, like the StreamYard just disconnected. I don't know why I'm still using it. All right, so Joe rated Supergirl 5 out of 10. Nettie comes back. By the way, I found the most charitable freeze frame imaginable. We're not going to watch the entirety of this video, but we're going to skip around. We'll watch the beginning and watch the end. And then I found actually something interesting, which is that I guess Gamer from Mars is using like pre-crime to predict what videos to make, because a month ago he put out an AngryJoe documentary, the old deep dive into his lore and history, which is very appropriate. Like, you must imagine it's like winning the lottery. If you make a video or like a video essay about a lolcow or something, and then a month later they fuck up, and you're just like, oh, must feel good. 5 out of 10? Yeah, 5 out of 10 was what he ranked it before. All right, but let's see his real ranking now that he's seen it a second time. This is like, I mean, he's on the final stage. He's accepting that it's shit. And you know what really grinds my gears about? Oh, wait, damn it, I wish I left it on that uncharitable face for a second. There you go. What really grinds my gears about this Joe stuff, it's like, why are you talking about Joe? Like, do you care about Supergirl? No. Did I ever talk about Joe before? No. Why do you care about it now? This really grinds my gears because most people look to people like video reviewers or like people in the space of like, you know, like Friday Night Tights or EFAP or just anyone that puts out like reviews on media, what have you, right? And they make financial decisions based on what these people say and what these people recommend them to go see. Joe recommended this movie to all of his fans before he had seen the movie, which is a pretty shit thing to do in my opinion as a reviewer. But he continued to recommend it after he saw it was dog shit. And now he's gone and seen it twice. So they got both of his $7. And now he's finally accepting that it's just bad. Like, how can this man has no integrity. For the goal, much appreciated. We got a speaking of integrity, we got use code criminal. Pretty wild they registered that name just so they could post that, but thank you. That's a tenner. We also got another 5 says Dragon's Treasures Tea for the gold. Thank you very much. And false avatar with a 3 Australian says eat, sleep, dream of Asmund, repeat. I mean, it's working for him so far. There's have you ever seen the Meat Canyon video where it's like Asmongold and Hassan are the same worm? They're just different sides of it's like a cat dog, basically. All right. Well, anyway, let's go into Joe and let's see what he thinks of the movie now.
I'm in the I'm in the black super suit today because
he's blacked.
Unfortunately, I went and saw Supergirl second time, this time with the family over the weekend. And while they enjoyed it mostly as a fun popcorn flick, they actually agreed with me on the ending. They done fucked it up, guys.
It's fucked. This man said, if you didn't watch the first part when we covered Joe, he honestly started his video with his 2 lackeys. So apparently they at least have some integrity, but they're willing to say that it's shit movie. It's like, well, I didn't love this movie, but I liked it. It's 6 out of it's pretty good. Pretty good. There's a few problems. Now he's just like, no, it's shit. It's shit. I guess the check cleared, and now we can actually make his apology video.
They done fucked it up. I even talked with people that were walking out of the film afterwards. A guy had recognized me.
Pretty sure they were walking out during the film.
And I got his opinion, and it's much the same. They messed it up. And so upon second viewing, let's just get this right out of the way. On second viewing, did you like it much better, Joe? Did you change your opinion? You're going to watch it 6 more times and the score going to go up? No.
This is peak consumer. Look at his crestfallen fucking face. Are you going to watch this 6 times? I think he did watch the original, not the original Superman, but the most recent Superman one, the one that everyone's shit, that thinks is shit, where he saves the Skrill or whatever. I think he did watch that 4 or 5 times. Actual child behavior. I can understand seeing a movie twice. I've seen one movie twice, I believe. My favorite movie, I think I've seen a dozen times. But that's because I would just put it on autoplay while I was doing other stuff, because it's a fantastic movie. But what details are you going to get by watching Supergirl the second time? Oh, you didn't appreciate all of the subtext, all of the witty dialogue of a girl going around lasering people and punching people and butchering the source material. It's very weird, this video, because he's got this Supergirl comic and he's holding it around like a Bible. Doesn't make a lot of sense. He's actually just I think he's just actually mind broken about this. Doom Studios in the 250 says Jeff Knightley broke our boy Joe. That's very sad. Letty with a 10 says, I'm sorry everyone, please use what the fuck is with this criminal posting in my chat? Did Sean send you over here with his Dragon's Treasure tea money to sabotage me? I'm so sorry everyone, please use code criminal. His code is better, so much more than my code. I'm ashamed. I will do Sepuki, I think he means seppuku, and log off. You won, Sean. Goodbye all. What is this? Is this actually Sean's Discord or something working against me? These rats, give me the Discord codes.
I liked Superman because it had a fucking good message. It executed on that message, and it did it right. At the end, he's smiling. He's got a wonderful... He realizes he has a wonderful set of parents this whole time.
This movie was shit. I'm sorry. I tried watching this. It's not a good movie. It's so dumb. The music is really weird. I'm not a fan of the gun, okay? The gun sucks.
And as he takes in all of his... vacation.
I'm just thinking back, because when I think about these movies, all these facts keep coming back to me. And I'm just so stupid. The fucking nanomachines girl who does a flip and then her ass turns into her face. It's so fucking pointless. It's just key jangling nonsense.
videos and moments with his family. It's really what makes him a good person.
So he's sitting in
And
his
even though I thought
dentist
some of-
chair while the sun shines on him, and he's looking at his like home videos. Okay, you pirated and wanted the refund. That's where I watched it too. This is my policy now. This is my policy for every movie: is I pirate first, and if I like it, then I pay for it. Okay, that's actual integrity. It's like money down. No, I work on contingency. You get the money after I get the good movie. Okay, I'm not paying for slop. Actually, I have to pirate most stuff actually because it doesn't come up for like 3-4 weeks, so it's like usually a month late over here for some reason. Nightmare says at least Clayface is its own world instead of DCU. I'm cautiously optimistic for Clayface. It looks interesting, and I know they did good things with the Penguin. So you can take these like weirdo characters and make them into edgier stories that actually work quite well. If it's like a spooky body horror sort of thing, I think it could work quite well. We'll have to wait and see, though. You never know.
It was cringe and too fast paced with the Roblox speed and the Minecraft editing. It's a Superman for a new generation that gets all the messaging right, and what it is to be a good person and to be a symbol of hope for others, and to be this big goofy. And yes, Superman is goofy. If you can't handle a little cringe or a little goofiness in your Superman,
why does Superman have to be goofy? I don't agree with this. Like maybe like the old comic Superman was goofy, but like if you think about the old like campy. What's the original Batman's actor called? Shit, it's escaping me. You guys know what I'm talking about. But like the 60s Batman, you know exactly. I'm just waiting for the chat to come up with it so I can pretend that I remembered it. What the fuck? Adam West? Yeah, that's Adam. Adam West is who I was talking about. Like Adam West was a very campy Batman. But then Batman reinvented itself into like this edgier, darker comic and / movies and films, and everyone loved it. So it's like, no, it doesn't have to be. I think like the thing with Superman is like writers don't know what the fuck to do with him. Because like, oh, he's too strong. I guess he's just going to be silly. No, I think he had a really good portrayal of Superman actually with Henry Cavill. He got robbed. Now that movie did have its problems, but it was a fun. I like Man of Steel. Nobody else did. Okay, there's a lot of stupid shit in that movie. Like not saving dad, just like, no, don't do it, son. The Mountain of Skulls and everything. But I like that edgier sci-fi style of Superman. It was interesting to me. And first, and I'm gonna be honest, Superman not killing people is retarded. Let's just call it what it is, okay? Oh no, he can't kill Zod. Zod was about to murder some people. He made a choice. He made the right choice.
Then you're not really. I mean, Superman's not for you. You might want to try Batman. But so whereas Superman. And then by the end, even punk rock songs that I don't like, I end up loving because I'm a punk rocker. Yes, I am.
That's one of the cringe. Like, I think that's one of the least punk rock things you can do is say you're a punk rocker. Pudding just gifted. Well, actually, they just celebrated their 3rd month subscribed. Also, Real Shumpa resubscribed. Pudding Way resubscribed. And Chorgon resubscribed.
But it's not saying that line. It's saying that's the kind of good person that he is. He's become a full circle, a real, like, kind of a character arc, a realization of his goodness. None of that.
He's angry. Look at this freeze frame. This is actually the perfect freeze frame. I wish I'd use this for my thumbnail.
None of it is in Supergirl. In fact, upon second viewing, I thought it was worse. I took notes this time in the theater.
When you see a movie the second time and it's worse, that's because the hype has died down, the blinding lights have died down, and you're thinking about it. You could look, you can see the tears in his eyes.
Sat in the back, had my phone under. I didn't bother anybody, but
you just know he's got his phone turned on with the buttons like whoop 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 whoop, and he's taking notes. Supergirl, bad.
It was worse, and I've got individual scenes that really bothered me, but it all comes down to bad writing and a misunderstanding of the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow comic. Let me get it. When you adapt something
now. Like I said, we're not going to watch the whole thing of this. This is like 1 hour of him just looking at this comic book and like pleading to the audience with it. But
you're not supposed to make it worse.
I'll show you some of it.
There is a reason why this is one of the best-selling comics, especially for Supergirl.
Is it actually like? I mean, for Supergirl, sure, it's her best-selling comic, but like, is this a really good-selling comic?
It's Supergirl's best-selling comic. There's a reason. So you took the story and you done fucked it up. That's what bothers me the most about the Supergirl film, in addition to all.
And by the way, most adaptations are usually worse than the source material, with maybe a few exceptions.
Of the rest, the muddy visuals, the bad writing, the lack of character arc. You just fucked up the character of Supergirl. And when I heard that Anna says, and the team and Craig Gillespie and Anna said, you know, we're going to do this over 3 days instead of 3 months and narration style here. That's when I knew, oh shit, your difficulty just went through the fucking roof. Because Ruthie gets less annoying. One of the things people had problems with is Ruthie's annoying, but she grows over time. Joe said that she was annoying. I didn't find her that annoying because I saw this version of Ruthie in her. And she's
What is this? Some cholo pulled a gun on Sean. Is that real?
pretty accurate with that, but you just didn't have enough time, or the film didn't depict her growth as well.
By the way, that book is a pile of shit. I'm going to assume that's the case. I just don't have any respect really for comic books as a medium, because I don't think that there's enough room to have a really compelling story. Of course, brevity is the soul of wit, and I really do like short stories, which is quite ironic. But I have never really seen like a comic or a graphic novel that has really changed my opinion or like left like a life-changing experience like some books can be. I don't know. Maybe I'm just my attitude. I've never been a big fan of comic books. They were always like, I don't know. Maybe when I was a kid, they're always like 10 pages long or something, and just nothing ever fucking happens. What about manga? I don't read manga, to be honest. I think the only graphic novel I've ever seen that was like somewhat interesting, and I didn't own it. It was just my friend had it. Was the 300 one. Sean pulled out his Mossberg shockwave and blasted an illegal alien. Okay.
Suddenly she becomes a superhero at the end, just taking out super strength brigands. Aren't they supposed to have super strength? At one point, they hold a tank with a single arm, and Ruthie chokes one out. That doesn't make sense, guys. The fucking
I did hear that the book had dinosaurs, apparently, though, which didn't make it to the movie.
Script and the screenplay and the story, they messed up. And I found out confirmation today was released today that the writer, Anna, and I hate to put this on just one person's shoulder. I'm sure Craig had some. Actually, Craig had a quote that said, I didn't even bother to read the comic before I drafted up my first pitch. That's not a good start, buddy. That's not a good start for his vision.
Here's a good one, actually. Someone in the chat. Brevity is the soul of wit, but not everything is meant to be witty quip. That's why you don't stream for 10 minutes. Well, I mean, IDub streams for a minute. So I guess you're wrong.
Visual pitch. That might be why your movie looks like shit. Why it looks like shit. And you didn't take anything from the comics. Here's the confirmation.
Like none of these frames look good. Like I think I agree with Joe here, but that's only because he's come to the realization that this was a shit movie.
That Anna had no
like what were they like unironically, what were they thinking?
Had no understanding. She didn't grasp the themes that were in the comic.
But like Joe's really unhinged with this book. And like he goes on to talk about his fan fiction about how the book ended or something, which it just seems like he's making up his own storylines.
Paul Tassi, Supergirl spoilers, but Jesus, this is spoilers. We're in spoiler territory. This
oh
is
no, spoilers for Supergirl chat. Warning alert.
The ending, the whole crux of the film. What happens at the end?
It's a sweaty Santiago.
Supergirl writer Anna says the ending of Supergirl was decided early on because the comic book ends with Ruthie killing Krem. You dumb fuck. Are you not going to ask anybody? Are you not going to check? Did nobody on the team talk to you? Did you only talk with Craig and nobody on set and nobody in production? The comic ends with Ruthie killing Krem, but in the far, far future. It's like 300 years or something. We know we weren't going to be able to do that kind of time jump, and I find it's quite a dark ending of the comic. It's not
like she didn't read the comic, by the way. Like that's your first sign that this was going to be a shit movie, Joe. That you recommended everyone to go and waste their money on. They trusted you, Joe, and you let them down.
She doesn't kill Krem. So it's not a dark ending. And yes, you can do time jumps. You can. Audiences are not as stupid as you think. Even there's a lot of evidence contrary, but they can handle time jumps. He essentially has changed, and she kills him anyway because he's begging for his life. He's in the they put him in the Phantom Zone instead of killing him. They pull him out of the Phantom Zone. Here's Ruthie. She's old as fuck, and he's begging for his life.
Sir, this is a YouTube video. Can you not just like scan some of these images and put them on screen or something? You know, like it's just like, no, look at the book.
There.
Like, he honestly seems like he's completely unhinged. I'm like, what has happened to Joe? Like, is this book like the only thing that's been keeping him alive during the dark eras of Trump or something? Is that what's going on here? I'm
Begging.
confused.
Forgive me.
Why does he love this comic so
She
much?
sees the final panel, and she sees and interprets it as Ruthie killing Krem. Now, granted, it kind of looks like she's got a sword or something, and the blood is coming out after she stabs him. And the narration itself actually says, instead she moved her.
Is this not like an old man with some sort of Alzheimer's or something, trying to correct the record?
Sword swiftly through the air and stabbed down through the chest of the kneeling brigand. But you have to understand that the narration that has been going on the entire time, there is an unreliable narrator. You have to take everything in context. It's a little nuance. Again, nobody understands nuance anymore. But you can even see, let's say you don't even see that, and you just look at the visuals. She is an old woman smacking him with her cane. That's her smacking him with the cane. He falls down. He even goes, ah, like this. You see, he's like, ah. And he puts his head down, and I guess she when he puts his hand down, she interprets that as him dying. That was not the point of the story. And I guess it's
what was the point of the story, Joe? Why don't you tell us?
As if you're dumb. No, okay. Some people might think that he dies, fine, but they didn't want to spell it out for you. Upon repeat readings of the comic, you get it. You will get it. Even if you think that something else, even though it's right here. But even if it's not right there, Tom King, the guy who fucking wrote it.
You mean June? I did spurg out about June. I don't like the second one. I don't like what they're doing with Zendaya in those June movies.
It's not supposed to be ambiguous. Krem is supposed to be alive at the end. So they thought that they were so clever. Anna thinks that Ruthie kills Krem. So she thought she was so clever. Okay, I'm going to condense the time, and I'm going to have Supergirl kill Krem at the end, saving Ruthie. These are
all right. So this movie goes on for like about an hour. Like, it's essentially a solid hour of Joe spurging over and over about the book and complaining about things. He doesn't even like Lobo anymore. He realized that Lobo wasn't actually a good performance. It was just Jason Momoa doing Jason Momoa. But we'll skip through to his new ranking. And while I find the timestamp for that, actually, maybe just around here. Well, maybe we'll just pick up from here. What do you think his new ranking is for the movie? See if you can guess in chat. No cheating.
A Supergirl film in production with Sasha. Now, I guess from the reception of Flash and the failure of that, DCEU, and then rebooting everything, that never actually happened. The movie died with the old DCEU.
By the way, I saw a clip of the Flash movie. I haven't seen the Flash movie. They actually have Nicolas Cage like lasering a giant spider in that movie, apparently. But I kid you, I'm not even joking. Maybe I need to find this clip because you won't believe me otherwise. There's a scene in the Flash movie where he's sticking babies in microwaves. I'm not even like, he's trying to like escape from this explosion and he's got all these babies up in a line. He sticks one of them in a fucking microwave. And then when he's like saves the babies at the end, he goes ding and the baby's done and he like takes it out of the, like, I'm not joking. This like hold on, let me see if you have to see this, I think, to believe it. Flash movie. Because I heard people say that. I thought they were joking. I just assumed that they wouldn't believe them. All right, here you go. Here's a 2-minute clip that'll probably get us copyright. This is actually a clip from the Flash. Like, the DCU is absolutely fucking cooked, okay? So he's got a mic. Wait, first of all, he has a burrito. So it's so fucking witty and funny. Oh no, he's got the burrito. Throws that into another baby. No, I've never seen the movie. He scoops up the baby into the microwave. I'm not sure that's a good thing you should be doing. Like, I'm not trying to be like a pearl clutch or anything. But maybe you don't want to do that. Maybe you don't even want to joke about that. Because there's going to be some weirdo out there that's going to repeat this scene. You know that there are. This looks like absolute look. It's even like you can see the baby is actually being microwaved. It was in the trailer, was it? I don't watch trailers. Trailers are just spoiler content. Look. This is out. Look at how look. He's selling babies. It's his baby factory. And he's like, you want these babies heated up or whatever? Ding! This one's done. See. Anyway. Why would anyone be invested in this universe, Joe?
Now, her previous deal expired. She had a child.
It looks so bad. Yeah, like the CGI looks like absolute dog shit. It's crazy.
And Peter Safran took over. They had to come. She had to compete for the job again, like any other freelance writer. Executive producer Chantal continued.
All right, this is the part that I want to say. Hold on a second. I'll just search the transcript real quick, and then we'll get into the. I think we'll get into the thing, the doco about Joe's past, which is quite interesting. It was just a lot of stuff that I don't know. I watched it. I didn't watch it. Should be what? Come on. Why can't I find this? What? Why isn't this coming up in the transcript? What is this nonsense? It's got to be towards the end then. Let's have a look. I had this before, but then my fucking thing reloaded, so now I can't find it. Oh my gosh. Just give me one. Should I just play like the elevator fucking music or something? Chat, quickly distract me. Say something. Doobie doobie doo. All right, I guess we'll just continue from here. Or no, I found it. Okay, I found it. Here it is. Found it. Whew, thank God for the time bar. All right. So 40 minutes into this video.
And some of it right. But then as we were talking about
build a tower, that's exactly.
And you realize the whole fucking point of the film, the soft character arc for Supergirl, where you don't feel her transition into the hero as much as you should. Her killing at the end, all this other stuff is a fundamental failure. The lack of comedy, the muddy visuals, all this. It brings it down to below average. It's a 4, and it remains.
It's a 4 out of 10. Joe sold out his audience for a 4 out of 10. He thinks that your money is worth a 4 out of 10 because don't ask questions, just consume product, move on to the next product. How pathetic. How pathetic. And he said that if he watches it more, maybe it's even going to go down further. Talk with the White says, use code criminal for your tea during dead air. That's like there's so many rats in chat today. I think like every chat I've got so far is about Sean using code criminal instead of using code cope, like a loyal chatter would be using.
A 4 upon second viewing. And fuck, if I have to see this thing a third time, it's probably going to be
hang on, it went down by 1. Yes, it did. But like, listen to what he says here.
Fucking 4 upon second viewing. And fuck, if I have to see this thing a third time, it's probably going to be a fucking 3. Okay.
So the more you watch this movie, the worse it gets. The more you think about it. The thing is, Joe's just completely emotional. He can't make any objective ratings or evaluation about these movies. But this honestly makes me mad. Like recommending to buy a shit product. Like how is this different than shilling Rumble products? Go buy your like made up like mushroom coffee or some shit. Like no, just spend money on a time that's objectively worse than just doing nothing. Because like a 5 out of 10, like I consider a 5 out of 10 to be neutral. Like it's neither good nor bad. A 6 is like slightly better than doing nothing. This is worse than just doing nothing. That's what Joe's saying. And he's like, no, you should have gone see it. Please, please. He was pushing his tits into the face of the camera. So you should go see this movie. Like, honestly, is he actually being paid to come to these conclusions? EDW Raptor with a 10 says, I recently visited and bought the Dragon's Treasures tea. It was amazing and tasted so much better after using code criminal. Tasted 10% off. Tasted so great. Wow. All right, what the fuck is going on with these Sean chats? There's no way this is just organic Sean support or something. This is some sort of conspiracy. This is a conspiracy of the Sean Discord. I'm in that Discord. I'm gonna be like searching through there. I will be taking notes and I will be taking names. And if I see you in Sean's stream gifting super chats, then I'm gonna come for you. No, just kidding, obviously.
But all
right. So Joe is completely, absolutely crashed out and accepted that the movie's shit and that he sold out his audience for nothing. Now, Gamer from Mars had the prescience to upload this video 1 month ago. AngryJoe, a fallen YouTube titan. And there's a lot of AngryJoe lore that I didn't know about. This is actually quite fascinating. So we'll take a look at this.
The only you people care about.
When you think
This is the people. This is the people in my chat giving Sean donations. This is everyone like shilling code criminal in my chat. This is all you care about, eh?
The only you people care about.
When you think of the angry game reviewer archetype of the early YouTube days, the angry video game nerd comes to mind first.
What about Irate Gamer? How does he keep getting shafted? I saw that on Twitter the other day. He's like, the 4 gaming legends and the Irate Gamer wasn't there. It's enough to make a man irate. But imagine like how easy it was back in the days of YouTube when you could just be angry as your personality. Like, it's kind of funny because when we get into the second part of the Jim Sterling stuff, it's really funny how just being British is giving people's personalities. Like, I actually don't like that. Like, when people are like, well, I'm just a British person. That's my theme. I'm British YouTuber, man. It's like, yeah, some of these things were funny back in the time, and maybe we should judge them based on how we enjoyed them back then. But like when you look back at like a lot of this stuff didn't age very well at all. It's just like, I'm angry and I eat Doritos. Whoa, look at me. They're like fucking Rick and Morty characters, one note. We got Jamie Moodley with a 14 ZAR says, buy from the Dragon's Treasure. Use code criminal. Another one just got added to my list of grudges.
But people often forget that there was another man in the genre, often getting just as many views as James. But instead of covering old video games...
Wait, another angry... What the fuck is with these ambulances? That's a second ambulance that's going past. I'm like, it's not my day-to-day. I knew I shouldn't have streamed on a Monday. I hate my Mondays.
He focused on new ones.
Trust me, many feminists love sex.
Jose Antonio Vargas,
okay.
aka AngryJoe, has been a prominent voice in the online video game community since practically its inception. But over the years, his reputation has
I'm angry Stream React man today.
altered drastically. He may have started as a passionate defender of the rights of the oppressed minority known as gamers, but these days many of his past fans view him as a shell of his former self. But I've been wondering, is this...
I mean, the shell has expanded though. That's the thing.
It's an accurate representation. This is the story of the rise...
I should go to America and get laid with my fake British accent. Having a British accent is the best way to convince Americans of anything for some reason. But it's funny because if you get an actual British accent, then nobody likes that. Oi, Gov, I fancy a shag. Like, that doesn't work. It's just like the London British accent.
Golden era and eventual decline of a YouTube legend. So let's begin the story at the very beginning. Joe Vargas was born on June 18th, 1984 in Austin.
June? Happy birthday. Can we get some happy birthday Joes for Perturbed Pablo?
Texas. He had been a fan of gaming for pretty much his entire life and was an early member of the online community that was forming around the hobby during the 2000s. As a fan of the burgeoning angry reviewer genre, Vargas...
Like, that's the... All you had to do was just, like, if you just uploaded anything on YouTube in those days, you could just make a name for yourself. I'm the angry guy. Oh, it's the angry genre. You, like, tag your videos by angry or something.
Was inspired to create the AngryJoe Show YouTube channel.
Unironically, he looks very happy back then. Don't see that smile anymore. His smile and optimism is gone.
First upload came on October 4th, 2008, titled... That Pisses Me Off, Madden 2009 Hardcore Gamers, which was a brief comedy skit about Joe's overcompetitiveness.
Madness! This is madness!
All right, what you're going to see here, this is from 17 years ago. This was actually peak comedy back then. Try not to judge it by the standards that we have today.
Madness. This is a madness. This is mad.
This is what a majority...
I mean, it really speaks for itself, doesn't it? It's still peak. I don't know about that. Sean's Sundry Sandwiches for 10. Hey, meme. Do you know about Code Criminal? Another illegal super chat in my stream today. What the fuck is going on here? Like, this is an actual conspiracy from the Sean Discord. I know it.
Of his older content looked like, as it took him a while to nail down a solid structure. He cranked out uploads at a rapid pace, sometimes posting multiple times a day. The channel during this era was, to put it bluntly, bizarre. Even as he learned
I'm just hating, perhaps. I actually do miss old YouTube skits. There would be these like random non sequiturs that people would go off on in old YouTube videos, which I actually really enjoyed.
Craft a cohesive format for his uploads, the dialogue was still.
What happened to the Dino streams? I've been busy. They're coming back at some point, but this weekend I was dealing with typhoons.
Largely unscripted and just a stream of consciousness. This was also the case for the first video in his Angry Review series, posted on October 28th, talking about the game of Far Cry 2. He was accompanied by his friend Chris, aka Tons of Fun, although he'd credit him here as Chris the PC Guy, who was Joe's most frequent co-host in the beginning. This video was also the debut of Joe's iconic leather jacket and black Superman shirts.
Wait, he's been wearing Superman shirts for 17 years? What? Is that some old, like, is that an old LimeWire or something back then? We got Garfield's Bizarre Adventure. Angry Jose was best buddies with a nostalgia critic. Weren't they all on like something together, like Channel Awesome or something together?
Which remains his signature look even to this day. It wasn't long before some slight lore began to develop. Joe's viewers were the Angry Joe Show army, and they're
not the army, not the name. Like, I remember like way back. I think some people do this to a degree still, but like it's not as much anymore. Where it's like you have to think of a name for your community. Where the Brofist Army or something. We're the Baldo Baggins team or something. Like, you know, you have to like, I don't know. I've always found that to be incredible. Like anything like branding or like that sort of team sports thing, I've always found very cringe. The hate army, the angry army. There's no coping.
Their mission was to defeat the predatory corporate business practices that had infected the video game industry.
Wait, this is the thing. His entire personality has done a 180. Like he was fighting against these corporate overlords, and now he's telling you to give your money to Hollywood executives for 4 out of 10 movies.
Angry gamers will have a voice. A massive.
All right, the Giggy Wiggers is a funny one though, because that actually is kind of chill. I think I remember that we were doing one of those streams, and we said the Giggy Wiggers, and someone in the chat who wasn't affiliated with this channel was like, "Oh, you can't say that." I'm like, "Really? Why not?" And I was playing it up straight.
Angry gamer army is being formed, trained.
Sir, yes, sir. Have this army.
But sometimes their mission was just whatever Joe wanted it to be. For example, in the video, the epic fight, Joker captures Angry Joe.
Gamer from Mars is like breaking character.
It to be. For example, in the
Like, listen to
video,
him
the epic fight, Joker captures Angry Joe. The game reviewer is
this evil? Like, what is that? Melvin, brother of the Joker or something?
Kidnapped by the Batman villain, who says he will only release him if enough members of the Angry Joe Show army go to the theater to watch The Dark Knight.
You own the DVD, just watch the DVD at home. No, you will go to the movie theater and see it.
Vargas later said that this...
So this is like a reoccurring thing where he's forcing his people to go watch it. Like, it's just like team sports. Like he wants the movie to succeed.
Was because he wanted the film to dethrone Titanic as the highest grossing movie of all time.
What a thing to attempt as well. Like, we can't let Titanic beat The Dark Knight. By the way, Titanic is such a shit movie as well, by the way. Like, this is a very brave take by me, but that chick was just she was straight up, she was a whore, all right? She got married after Jack drowned on the Titanic, and then she had this priceless artifact with millions of dollars that she remarried, never told her family anything about this for like 50 years, had her husband slave away and support her while they raised 5 kids, and then she drops the amulet into the ocean because like one guy fucked her when she was in her 20s. Like, actual woman moment. Like, fuck Titanic.
Once the mission is accomplished, Joe defeats the Joker and celebrates by showing off his Force lightning powers. You know, like Star Wars.
Wait, I'm confused. Why does Joe have lightning powers? And why is there Godzilla music playing?
No, I can't explain why the theme from Saw is playing in the background here.
No, I'm pretty sure that's the Godzilla remix theme, right? Is it not? Is it Saw? Or are they that similar? Maybe I'm just tone deaf or something. I was sure that was the Godzilla theme music. That'd make more sense.
No, I can't
It's from Saw. Well, then Saw's ripping off Godzilla.
No, I can't explain why the theme
Apparently, the Saw Internet Defense Force just happens to be in my stream at this exact moment.
Saw is playing in the background here. This is an early example of the consumer archetype, basically where nerds treat media franchises as sports teams, where they root for their favorite IP to win by getting a higher box office gross for a multi-billion-dollar media conglomerate. Strange as they were, these videos gave Joe a modest audience that grew fairly rapidly, as he reached 2,000 subscribers by January of
Saw, for some reason, the Shawn and Saw fans are working together and they just all happen to be here. That's not God. It sounds like fucking Godzilla to me. All right. There's many different versions of the Godzilla theme song. They're all pretty much bangers.
2009. This growth caught the attention of Mike Mashad and Doug Walker, the owners of ThatGuyWithTheGlasses.com, and its parent company, Channel Awesome, who began talking with Joe about making content for their site. He agreed and soon became one of the most prominent voices talking about video games in the collective of media reviewers. To be more specific,
Yeah, that amulet was worse. Yeah, like I said, that chick's just a bitch.
Joe's primary domain was Blistered Thumbs, which started life as simply another page on the website with the purpose of video game discussions in a text-based format. Blistered Thumbs proved to be very popular with the gamers in Channel Awesome's audience, and talks soon began to spin it off into its very own website. Joe spearheaded the campaign as editor-in-chief, and recruited a journalist from the site Koku Gamer named Micah Curtis to be his right-hand man. BlisteredThumbs.com officially launched in November of 2010, and quickly became one of the internet's most prominent sources for video game news and reviews. Judging from the stated mission of the AngryJoe army, it should be obvious that Vargas viewed himself as a champion for gamers and video games as an art form. You have to realize that the late 2000s and early 2010s.
And now he's championing Supergirl as an art form. Like, is that not like a betrayal of the audience? And just shilling for the corpos? Speaking about shilling for corpos, in like 2 hours is the premiere for the Cyberpunk Edge Runners 2 trailer. I don't know, should we stay up and watch this, chat? Is it gonna be mid? Don't tell me it's mid. I really like Cyberpunk Edge Runners. I mean, wow, that's a really edgy take as well. I know nobody's ever liked that show before. I thought the whole series was dropping today, but apparently it's just a teaser trailer. I don't like the designs for these characters, I'm gonna be honest. So I'm concerned about it.
Was a time when corporate influence infecting the hobby was a big point of conversation, and AngryJoe was at the forefront. One of the primary targets for his ire was the Spike TV Video Game Awards show. While it was advertised as essentially the Oscars for gaming, Joe and many others thought it was overly commercialized and out of touch with what gamers wanted. And with his rise in popularity due to Channel Awesome and Blistered Thumbs, he was finally able to do something about it. Due to this increased influence, Joe was invited to the 2010 VGA show as a journalist. His hope was to get a one-on-one interview with someone involved in the behind-the-scenes decision-making, and his wish was granted when the host and executive producer, Jeff Keighley, agreed to talk with him.
This was an absolute disaster for Joe, by the way. Like he was going to go press him, but then he got his shit pushed in and looked like an absolute joke.
Fortunately, this did not end up going smoothly, as shortly after the event, Joe posted a video of the interview.
I don't know where he is, and then out of nowhere, I literally see him sprinting towards me, and he's like, Joe, come on, you got 2 minutes, go. Joe, you got 2 minutes, go. That is not how you start an interview.
What? You're not entitled to this guy's time. Like, you were there begging for an audience to try and press him on the matters and the issues at hand, and you failed when you were the call was made, but you didn't answer it, Joe.
Very first thing, he has me on my back foot right there. You have 2 minutes, go. I realize I'm not gonna get all of my questions answered, but I'm hoping to at least have 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Ideally, I would want a sit-down interview that I originally requested 15 minutes.
Why would you broadcast this though? Like, he's like, guys, I met him finally, but I didn't get what I wanted. He was being mean to me. He bullied me. It's like, you're supposed to be AngryJoe in your like $2 million spaceship or something. You should have been like, he gave me 2 minutes and I was ready to make these the worst 2 minutes of his fucking life. But he just failed.
No, 2 minutes, Joe. Go, 2 minutes.
It's like, is his entire career just coping and seething? Like, people overuse the words cope and seethe quite a bit, myself included. However, Joe is actually an example of coping and seething. And that's exactly what's been happening with the Supergirl coverage. It's actual seething because he's mad that it's like shit and everyone's like laughing at him. He's like, the entire Twitter thing was pointless. What was it for, Joe? And then he's coping about the movie being better than it is.
The upload includes both Joe's full interview with Keeley on the VGA red carpet, as well as his post-mortem of the situation. Viewers were
I
baffled.
think it's the post-mortem of his career.
That Vargas decided to post this footage at all, since it made him look incredibly unprepared. Jeff was able to easily counter every point Joe threw his way, leaving the YouTuber flustered. As he played the recording of the interview, Joe would occasionally cut it with green screen footage to vent his frustrations.
With particular categories like best independent game fueled by Mountain Dew, it kind of takes away. Yeah,
we don't have that category of the show.
Oh, so you took away the best independent game fueled by Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew. We have
okay,
best independent game,
perfect.
which is being presented by Guillermo
Perfect.
del Toro tonight.
Love it. Moving along. Basically, what?
Joe just doesn't have any idea what's going on. Imagine being served by a man in a bow tie.
Jeff, this is a worse environment to conduct an interview in. Essentially,
It's like if you're talking to a girl at a party and she's just like looking at other people and just trying to like, you're not getting the message or something.
In fairness, even though the YouTuber was incredibly critical of how Keeley had behaved, he was equally critical of his own handling of the situation. As previously stated, he viewed himself as a champion for gamers everywhere, and by failing to hold the video game awards to a higher standard, he felt as though he had let them down. This video has gone down in infamy as one of the most embarrassing moments in AngryJoe's career, to the point that it's practically impossible to discuss him online without it being addressed. He did somewhat get the last laugh in the end, though, as a couple of years later, Jeff Keeley was interviewed while sitting right next to a bag of Doritos and several bottles of Mountain Dew, all while a giant standee for Halo 4 loomed large behind him.
Yeah, but he's the Dorito Pope, though. Like, how many people remember Halo? That's a joke. But I bet you remember Mountain Dew, right?
This was the epitome of the over-commercialization of the video game industry that gamers had been complaining about, and earned Keeley the
It does make me kind of want to eat Doritos, though. I'm kind of like a son. I'm thinking about food every fucking moment of the day.
nickname Dorito Pope. Of course, Joe seized the opportunity to parody it in his own video.
Hello, I'm AngryJoe, and this is my review of Halo 4.
Can we get a Halo rating, chat? Like, what was the best Halo? I'm going to be honest, I'm not a Halo fan. I've only played it very infrequently. I did get the Master Chief Collection, though. I think Halo 2 is pretty good, though, right? That was, like, probably the best one. Multiplayer, 2 or 3, maybe. Which one was the Reach? Was that the one with the jetpacks? I can't remember. I guess this is how he got fat.
It's a good game, and I got plenty of bonus XP.
But even though people...
Halo Reach Internet Defense Force just happens to be in this stream as well. What's going on? Halo Reach, personal favorite. It was great. Was it? Okay. I'm going to be honest. I never played Halo Reach. I just remember the memes at the time, people calling it Halo Reach around.
People didn't necessarily love Mr. Keeley, the disastrous VGA interview still did some damage to AngryJoe's reputation. It didn't help that 2010 was also the same year in which Joe made a video at E3 with another Blistered Thumbs contributor named Spoonie, who shouted and made a scene in the middle of the show floor.
Betrayal!
What?
Betrayal! Betrayed me! This game sucks!
It has been claimed that this incident caused all Channel Awesome contributors to be temporarily banned from E3, although there is no evidence to support that. Regardless, these instances set Blistered Thumbs on the back foot in terms of their journalistic integrity, and the public embarrassments echoed an uneasiness that was bubbling behind the scenes. One of the earliest issues that arose came from the website's comment moderation, where users' posts were often taken down without...
Have I played the Halo RTS? I have not. That's Halo Wars, right? I'm like a big RTS fan too, by the way. Like RTS was my favorite genre of all time, but those games don't really exist anymore. I think Age of Empires is having a resurgence of popularity recently. They just made a new StarCraft 2 patch as well, which is apparently breathing a bit more life into the game, but it's basically a dead genre, which is really unfortunate. Like I think like one of the first games I ever played was like Command and Conquer, and that was like an absolute banger. And then I went on to Red Alert 2, Tiberian Sun. I think Tiberian Sun had a different name. There was like Emperor Battle for June. Then I got into like StarCraft Brood War, which I only ever started playing StarCraft when my uncle died, by the way. Like that was like a side tangent story because StarCraft was not popular where I was from. Everyone was playing with Westwood games, the like Tiberian Sun or Red Alert 2. And then I just happened to go to like clean out my uncle's house in Australia after he died, and I found a disc. I was like, Brood War, what's this? And I took it back and I started playing. I'm like, oh my god, this is the best game ever. And then I was just like a StarCraft fanatic since then. It was good stuff. Some might call me a StarCraft zealot, in fact.
Warning, and some were outright banned due to the poor communication of what the rules were. While this was a site-wide problem, one of the biggest exacerbations...
I should have moved to Korea instead of Japan. Unironically, when I started university, I was learning Korean. I took Korean as my first major in university, but only 9 people were doing the class, and they shut it down. So I've only done it for 6 months, and I barely remember any of it. I can still remember how to say I'm Australian, though.
...was Micah Curtis, who was self-admittedly in an unhealthy headspace during this time.
I was a miserable bastard, and I couldn't let go of my divorce. I couldn't get past my flaws. I couldn't get past anything. I was a prick. Quite frankly, though, I hated the audience. I fucking hated the Blistered Thumbs audience at the start. But
why does so many of these internet creators hate their audiences? It doesn't make any sense to me at all. Like, wouldn't you just stop making internet? Like, you can go back and get a job. There's no reason you have to stay making the online videos or online content. It's like, but they just hate everyone. I guess it's just a reflection of them hating themselves or something, though.
The thing is that I hated the audience and I hated gamers because I hated myself.
Well, there you go.
It was because of
rig it up.
This that Joe and the Channel Awesome higher-ups decided to strip Curtis of his editor position, sending him off to work on himself. A few months later, he returned with a more positive outlook.
Exactly. Like, I don't hate Sean, but I want his T-code money. Use code COPE on Dragon's Treasure. I was winning until this like conspiracy started.
To reclaim his old title. What followed in 2011 was Blistered Thumb's strongest year, as the site was consistently pleasing its readership with well-written reviews and articles. Despite the rocky beginning, perhaps Joe and his team could still turn Blistered Thumbs into the titan of gaming journalism that he desperately wanted it to be. However, there were still a lot of problems with the management that fans were not privy to, which had potential to bring everything down. For starters, a common thread shared amongst many former contributors was that Joe was not the strongest leader, and it certainly
It's kind of ironic with the Superman shirt as well.
Didn't help that he was receiving very little support from the people above him. Editorial oversight was allegedly lax, and he was running himself ragged, maintaining Blistered Thumbs while still producing his own videos. But the bigger issue was the lack of a strong revenue stream. You see, Channel Awesome did not provide much in the way of funding, and so the only way the site could be monetized was through Google AdSense. Since Blistered Thumbs was text-based, advertising revenue was a fraction of what could be earned from video-focused enterprises like that guy with the glasses. As a result, writers went unpaid, instead being compensated with free review copies of video games.
They're working for free? They're working for video game, like they're literally working so they can play video games for free. You can just buy video game, like just get a job.
The other problems with Blistered Thumbs revolved around infighting between staff members. I need to point out that since this took place in private chat rooms over a decade ago, with none of the actual interactions being archived, this story will have to be pieced together through second-hand recollections. It's important to note that some people, including AngryJoe himself, have never spoken publicly about what exactly went down. Allegedly, the conflict stemmed from a disagreement between two writers, Micah Curtis and Eli Simetz, who was also a former journalist from Koku Gamer. While the two were initially good friends, as time went on, irreconcilable differences began to form in their worldviews. To put it simply, Eli
I forgot job was a dirty word for online people. Is it really so terrible? You know, the thing with shortcuts is that shortcuts almost always end up taking more time. That's the way of the things. And like a lot of online work and online grifting and online like content creation is seen as a shortcut. But if you just actually get like a fucking job and go there every day, 5 days a week, yeah, it sucks because it's a job, okay? But you generally end off better than all of the people that are wasting their time online.
Strong progressive values.
Hopefully that's not a comment that gets clipped out and used against me in the future when I too have fallen to my knees in depravity because I decided to like test a Sonichu medallion or something.
What some at the time might have referred to as SJW, while Micah was strongly against that. This all happened in 2012, a couple of years before the beginning of the Gamergate movement that tore the internet in half.
The sundering, they call it. You can still see the scar that divides the internet in two.
Gamergate was about ethics in gaming journalism, or was a harassment campaign against women in gaming, depending on who you talk to. The opposing views of these two men were the perfect microcosm of the battlefield that was beginning to form. According to another blistered thumb writer named Robert Grosso, the two often butted heads both over politics and how to run the websites, with Joe caught in the middle. I had an inkling of issues between Eli, Micah, and Joe because of the writers' chat room, where they talked a lot. Sometimes it was healthy debates, sometimes it was not, to put it lightly. Micah was always a strong personality.
I loved harassing women online during Gamergate. Oh my goodness. There's going to be some Total Biscuit references coming up in the second part with the Jim Sterling things. I remember that Total Biscuit actually took a good stance on Gamergate, even though he got a bit cringe towards the end. I'll always like. I think Total Biscuit was one of my OGs. Like he started off like I didn't like him in the beginning because he was like coming into the StarCraft scene and everyone was like critical of him. But then he was actually one of the biggest supporters and advocates, even going so far as putting his own money behind making his own StarCraft 2 team in Korea, Axiom. And it's sad what happened to him. He was a good lad before his time. He went.
Like Eli, and both had different ideas regarding how to showcase content. Reportedly, the animosity drove Eli to try and convince Joe to fire Micah on multiple occasions to no avail. This only further served to irritate Eli, leading to him going over Vargas's head and
Coke stream when? I've already had my Coke streams where I got drunk quite a few times, but it's probably not going to be happening in the future.
Contacting a Channel Awesome administrator by the name of Holly Brown to see if she could do something about it. Coincidentally, this was during a time when Micah was engaged in a separate beef with Joe's then-girlfriend Amanda, who was also a content creator, when he posted a negative tweet that she reportedly thought was about her.
Around this time, I had managed to anger the woman he called his girlfriend, but I prefer these days to call her his former pet horse, Amanda.
Wait a minute. There's another horse girl called Amanda, and this one's also suffering. And this is a weird this is a weird phenotype though. Like this is cursed doll come to life style. You know what I mean?
Look at her face, you'll see why I say that. She threw a fit over something that she thought I had directed at her on Twitter, when really I was complaining about something that Yahtzee Croshaw had said on Zero Punctuation. So, sorry, Amanda, you were never that special. From there, though, she then vocally quit the site over it. Her little tantrum was noticed by Holly, who, at the behest of Eli, used this as leverage with the Walkers and Mashad to try to show that Joe and I could not do our jobs properly, and that Blistered Thumbs was one giant mess.
While Micah frames the Amanda incident as the primary factor that got him and Joe removed from Blistered Thumbs, others have said that it was for entirely different reasons. Austin Yorsky, the man who took over for Vargas as the new editor-in-chief, spoke about it in an interview years later. Joe's departure from Blistered Thumbs was entirely unrelated and, in fact, quite complicated.
It probably was very complicated and drama-related, but... What is this? Sean Sundries on Kick. Pack it up. Use code criminal. Except now on Kick. The Sean Discord conspiracy has gone as far as Kick as well. Manny Kantan has also fallen to the conspiracy, saying use code. Oh no, he says use code COPE. Sean is a snake and his mods are snaking. Oh, thank you. I have one loyal person in my chat, Manny, with the 2,000 kicks. We're coming back, code COPE, bros. It's happening.
Isn't privy to 100%
It's
of the
total
relevant
COPE victory.
conversations, but I was involved in a number of them and have spoken at exhausting length with those who were present for events at which I was not. Channel Awesome was frustrated with Joe for multiple reasons, including Blistered Thumb's poorly built website and his inability to instantly replicate the success of that guy with the glasses. A personal incident which is beyond the scope of this conversation made it difficult for Channel Awesome to justify allowing the argument to continue. Whatever the reason, AngryJoe was now out as editor-in-chief of Blistered Thumbs after a 2-year tenure. The following year, the website was closed, folding the publication back into the main That Guy with the Glasses website, where it continued on before ultimately shutting down completely in the late 2010s. As time went on, there just became less and less demand for text-based reviews when they had so many creators making videos about the same topics.
I mean, the thing is, it's like they kind of used the internet to reinvent newspapers. It was kind of a bad idea. It wasn't a very thoughtful use of the medium at all.
And even
although these internet archaeology reports are very fascinating as well, because you kind of look back and like we thought this was cutting edge back at the time. It makes you wonder if like everything that we're doing now in 10 years will also be looked back on with such scorn and such pity.
Though he had ultimately failed with Blistered Thumbs, Joe still remained one of the most popular personalities in that niche. In fact, he was essentially part of the main cast of characters for Channel Awesome, appearing prominently in crossovers and anniversary movies. One of my personal favorite roles for him is in the Christmas special, You're a Rotten Dirty Bastard, in which the nostalgia critic sees what all of his friends' lives would be like if he was never born.
We're at the residence of the one you call Angry Joe.
Angry Joe, well, good. That little pipsqueak wouldn't be anywhere if it wasn't for me. No,
I made
no,
you,
absolutely
Joe.
not. No, I'm through dicking around here, Canada. You get rid of that snobby little province of Quebec, or I'm going to get rid of it for you. You understand? You see, the American people, they didn't elect me to be some kind of pushover. He's the fucking president of the United States!
This is what we could have had, chat. If it wasn't for this guy, we could have had the Angry Joe blowing up Quebec.
During his time as editor-in-chief of Blistered Thumbs, Vargas was now revamping the Angry Joe show. This is when the series started taking the shape fans were generally most familiar with, featuring a format of Joe talking about the game he was reviewing on his space station sets, while graphics appear on the screen behind him, intercut with skits featuring him and his friends. All
right, chat, we're going to have to make a vote on this. Are we pro or anti for skits? I think they're good. I think the crazy skits that go nowhere are the best kind of skits. And they're kind of an artifact of YouTube long gone past. Like, people are so attention-starved brained at this point that if you're not doing something every other second, then people just lose interest. And if you go into any other topic, they lose interest as well. But I think that the skits were the best part of ancient YouTube. It's 1 for pro skit and 2 for anti skit. I think the skits are good. I'm going to start putting skits in my videos too. And no one's going to understand what's going the fuck on.
Frequent collaborator was Joe Lopez, better known as Other Joe, who usually acted in whatever supporting role Vargas needed for a video. Even though he incorporated costumes and skits into his content, Joe didn't give his series a deep lore in the same way his Channel Awesome contemporaries like Linkara did. He did have an arch-nemesis, the Corporate Commander, clearly modeled after Cobra Commander from G.I. Joe.
Yeah, that's a good Joe, Other Joe. He's the one that had the honesty to say that it was a 4 out of 10 first, and then Inferior Joe had to copy him in his Cope review.
This villain was a stand-in for all greedy video game executives and gave Joe someone to take out his frustrations on.
Yes, I did it! I finally did it! Joe is so pissed off!
Let that be a lesson to you. The rest of you, we're watching. We're watching.
In many ways, the mid to late 2010s could be considered the golden age of the Angry Joe show. He gave gamers exactly what they were looking for. Thorough.
Your skits, sir. Yeah, I mean, it was a different time.
well-edited reviews for all of the newest releases from someone who shared all of their frustrations with the state of the industry. With his YouTube vids often getting millions of views each.
I actually do have some skits in old YouTube videos, but you have to find them. I'm not going to tell you where they are. They're pretty cringe. There's a really cringe video out there of me, actually, but I won't tell you about that either. But when I was working in an office in Japan, my coworkers found it somehow, some way, and they just came up to me and they're like, "Look, we saw your video," and I thought they were talking about like something else. I was like, "What? How?" And then they showed me. I was like, "Oh, that old thing. I don't give a shit about that. That's just some silliness."
They also appreciated that his skits were brief.
Not on this channel. I have dozens of channels. Okay, I'm not quite as many channels as the Quartering, but I do have quite a few.
Tongue-in-cheek, not coming across as overbearing or self-serious the same way many online critics did at the time. That being said, there were still some cracks forming. The 2000s angry reviewer trope was just that, a trope. People like Angry Video Game Nerd or Nostalgia Critic were playing a character.
What about Irate Gamer? They've left him out again. Now he's like the ghost doctor.
Were not as easily enraged as they came across in their content. Joe was also playing a character, of course, but as we've already discussed, his moments of outrage came from a much more genuine place than his contemporaries. This was evident in uploads such as YouTube Copyright Disaster from 2013, in which Vargas ranted about YouTube's new Content ID system, resulting in an outburst that became a meme.
The system could care less, and you could care less because you already pocketed your fucking money. I don't even have money in my wallet. Yes, I do. I have $7 because you took all this and you pocketed it. This is the only fucking you people care about. You don't care about promoting your products. You don't care about people reviewing your and improving your No, you care about this. That's all the you care about.
Well, now he's like $14 short because he went to see Supergirl twice.
In fairness,
how much does it cost to go to the movies unironically in America? It's like $7 or something, $10. I don't know. It's one banana. How much could it cost? $10. That's how much it costs over here, like $10 to go to the theater. But I'm like, I don't know, because when I hear the Quartering talk about going to the theater, he says it's like $100. $7 Sanchez, $7 Paquito. Varies by location. What is the average price of going to $15? I can see $15. If 15, that makes sense. So Joe can't even afford to go to the movies anymore. That's like $30.
This was an issue that
like $50. How does it cost $50 to go to the movies? You just sneak some candy in from the supermarket.
On YouTube was talking about at the time, and Joe's opinion was the same as the vast majority of other content creators, but his reaction was still noticeably more emotional than most. In many ways, this is what his fans liked about him. Joe was
Pablo Lescobar. That's a good one.
hot-headed, yes, but
a family of 4 is 50. That's cheap. That's not how it works. Yeah, I'm talking for one person, okay? Like everyone pays for themselves, right? The mum pays for themselves, the dad pays for themselves, the kids pay for themselves. Kids can have jobs if they want to go to see the movies, okay?
Was also passionate and unafraid to speak his mind about issues that he cared about, even if it made him look cringe. But sometimes he would kick the hornet's nest and give his thoughts on much more contentious topics, as fans would soon find out.
Joe, where have you been?
Is that Kayla calling us?
Oh! What?
Back in the day, Joe had an annual tradition of counting down the previous year's biggest gaming controversies. While these mostly focused around topics like bad releases and corporate greed, in his video about 2013, he discussed the response to online personality Anita Sarkeesian and her series Tropes vs. Women in Video Games.
Here it comes, the Gamergate segment. Everything comes back to Gamergate, doesn't it? It is wild how much of a bandit Anita Sarkeesian was. There are clips from her from university doing her thesis or something where she's talking about how she's never played a video game and she hates video games. And then she's using like non-plugged in PlayStation controllers, shilling her Tropes versus Women in Video Game series. And she made like a bunch of fucking money. And then they spent it all on trips and sausages and things, just like Keffels did. Well, in Keffels' case, in sausage removal. But you know what I mean. And now I think she's isn't she like working as a consultant on games as well? It's crazy. Actual scam artist. But like, congratulations to her because she got married to herself. So that's nice. She had a little self-wedding ceremony.
I'm sure the mere mention of her name made the spines of some people in the audience shudder. Well, she's largely lost her relevance.
Yeah, this is the video. This is the video where she talks about how she doesn't play video games. The black and white university video.
Today, it can't be overstated how huge Sarkeesian's influence was during this era of the internet. While one camp viewed her as a hero for talking about how women were depicted negatively in video games, the other side hated the fact that she seemed to be
Never mind.
attacking their identity as gamers. When Joe spoke out about it, he landed firmly in her defense.
Pokemon didn't marry herself. She didn't give herself an engagement ring. She got married or engaged, and then she told her simps that she got like engaged to herself, because that way she gets to wear her engagement ring in public, and the simps keep giving her money. It's actually a 400 IQ play.
Stating that while he didn't agree with everything she said, he thought she made some valid points.
What?
Bizarrely, his
Joe thought that Anita Sarkeesian was heckin' valid.
primary focus was Sarkeesian's criticisms of the way female video game characters are often sexualized.
The controversy and issue is the gross reaction to it by many butthurt man-children and actual clueless little boys who think that this woman is out to take away their porn and video games.
But she was. She's a sex-negative feminist. She actually was.
Permanently, and that she will somehow actually end up doing that. And this next thing is gonna blow your fucking mind. Trust me, many feminists love sex. They love sex in video games just as much as men. Whether it's
Why is background Joe got the right color correction, but then like foreground Joe has like this weird like matrix green tint because he doesn't know how to color correct after using a green screen? I don't understand how both of these two Joes, one can be correct and one not.
Effect or Witcher 2, and if it's done right, it adds to the story and personal connection to the game and characters. It's hot.
Does it though? Like I remember like boning Yennefer on a big unicorn plushie doll or something, but I don't remember how that impacted the story of The Witcher 3. Because we were like fighting for like stopping the world from freezing or something, as I recall. I can't remember at this point.
When it's done poorly, it feels out of place and just an excuse to show a boobie to an immature crowd. Given the choice, you'd pick boobs that are worth a damn every single time.
This was the moment that caused some
It's about ethics in video game boobies.
viewers to start turning on Vargas, accusing him of
If you choose Yen, you're a cuck. What the fuck? Yennefer was the best girl. I'm sorry. I mean, I don't know anything about her policies, but she's the prettiest girl in the game, which means she's the best woman. Okay, that's how women are ranked, by looks. Happy?
becoming a social justice warrior. Interestingly, though, when he talked about Gamergate in his 2014 video, he took a much more middle-of-the-road stance.
You see that the...
Can I make a poll for this? I'm actually... All right, we're going to do a new poll, all right, Witcher fans. Let's have a look, all right. It's time for the best girl poll. Best girl, Goral in Witcher. Witcher 3? So there's Yen, there's Trish, and I guess I'll throw in the what's the other ones? What's the Archer girl? What is it? Triss, Yennefer, and who's the third girl? There's like correct take. There's like an Archer girl or something. She's a medic. Shani, is that it? Shani? All right. We're gonna put the pollers up. We're gonna decide who is the best girl. You better make your arguments. My argument is that Yennefer looks the best.
The GG movement is relatively small but vocal group on Twitter. Not all of them are bad.
You got 2 minutes in this poll.
GG. You've got to stop bullying them. You've got to stop doxing them. You got to stop harassing them, saying that their movement is all garbage. You don't understand that people find identity within these movements. I understand what it's like to create a community. I run the AJSA. A lot of the people within GG found GG at a rough time in their lives. They made new friends. They played video games. They have a common goal, and they're going to defend their right to exist as GG to the death. And GGers, you need to realize that some of these people who are social justice warriors, who just want people to be more civil and point out inconsistencies, and the hardcore radical feminists who like to critique video games in their own way, even if you don't agree with them, they're not people, they're not fake gamers, they're real gamers. We're all fucking gamers here. They have a
No, the people playing Candy Crush aren't real gamers, okay? That's not a game, that's a time sink. How many people have voted for men so far? So far, Trish is winning by 2%. Stop the count. More people like men than Shani, though. Like, Shani is just like, it's like the Masato of The Witcher.
right to their opinion.
If you were around during 2014.
What the fuck is this Pablo rambling about? He's trying to fence it and say that there's good people on both sides. Even though Gamergate was about ethics and video game journalism, but you can't just fuck a bunch of guys for game reviews. It's pretty simple if you think about it, really.
You would know.
Also, harassing women is based.
That this was a shockingly level-headed take for someone to have during the height of Gamergate. This was a time when both sides were tearing at each other's throats, each believing the absolute worst of the other. But Joe, having been steeped in gamer culture for his entire life, was able to see the bigger picture. I really can't stress this enough. Nobody was talking about Gamergate in 2014 the same way Joe did. Speaking of Gamergate, there was another controversy mentioned in this video that, even though Joe was not directly involved in, I would be remiss if I didn't at least mention here. You see, earlier that year, the online gaming network Polaris had held a game jam, basically an event where developers were tasked with creating the best video game they could within a few days.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Polaris was like a multi-channel network, and they had like a bunch of people on. I'm pretty sure that Total Biscuit, Jesse Cox, Dodger, who's Dodger's husband? Sam Strippin or something? Then obviously, I guess Joe and all the rest of them were on Polaris. Was there anyone else there?
AngryJoe, being a partner of Polaris, was chosen to be one of the judges. The intention was that this would be filmed and presented as a web series, and in order to increase the budget, they were sponsored by the Dorito Pope's beloved Mountain Dew. Now, we already know Joe's opinion on corporate influence in gaming, and his thoughts on Mountain Dew sponsorships specifically. So,
but like, how could he hate Mountain Dew when he's such a corporate shill himself, though? Like, it doesn't seem to track with his character.
No surprise that he was not a fan of this idea. And as the drink company began exerting more and more control over the production, he and his fellow content creators became fed up.
I butted heads with him several times. I laughed out loud over his insistence that I drink Mountain Dew.
Hey, look. If you want to vote with bees, you can vote with bees, but you have to use a different number of bees, okay? Like 1, 2, or 3 bees to vote.
And have a bottle in front of me at all times. I must have put 3 and 4, 6 bottles under the table by the end of it.
The main source of these problems was a producer by the name of Matty Lashem, who the corporation hired to increase the drama. One of his primary methods
But they actually had a drama consultant?
Of doing this was to try and instigate gender-related arguments between the men and women. Among the developers...
Is there actual evidence to support this fact? They hired a director of women versus men? Just for drama's sake? It's actually kind of based.
Involved in the game jam was Zoe Quinn, who just a few months later would be the person responsible for firing the first shot of the aforementioned Gamergate movement.
Well, that's because she slept with 5 dudes to review her game Depression Quest, which wasn't even a game.
She had been teamed up with, I kid you not,
5 guys.
John Jafar, aforementioned Gamergate movement. She had been teamed up with, I kid you not, John Jafari, aka JonTron. Neither the
JonTron won, by the way.
YouTuber or game dev were known for their strong political beliefs publicly at this point, yet it was something that Matty was hell-bent to capitalize on, harping on the two of them when they had the smallest of disagreements. All of this and more piled up, and caused the developers and judges to walk off the sets, resulting in the Mountain Dew game jam falling apart after just one day, with John and Joe chilling afterwards with their newly discovered free time.
Every time?
or is it gonna be John? John or Tom? They're both 3 letters. Oh, it's John.
Yeah, you won that. You won it.
John Chon just keeps on winning.
I have to realize they had a load of beers way before that point. I hate doing this. Is literally late hour. Why did I suggest it?
Again, that was an incident that had very little to do with Joe himself, but it does serve as another example of him being willing to speak his mind despite corporate pressure. That being said, there were times that he found himself being accused of hypocrisy. This point requires us to talk about one more thing that happened to Vargas in 2014. As it turns out, it was the same year that Justin Carmichael, known online as Jew Wario, took his own life.
Oh, that's sad. Not Jew Wario.
While Carmichael's legacy has become incredibly tainted today for reasons we truly don't have time to get into here, back then he was one of the most beloved creators on Channel Awesome. Shortly after his death, Joe posted a tearful video memorializing...
Wait, what are the controversy? I don't know who this Jew Wario guy is. It just seems like someone died. Oh, that's sad. But then there's like, wait, what is he? What did he do?
I probably will never have the words to describe the type of person that Justin was to everybody around him.
While this upload has since been deleted and thus none of what I'm about to say can be proven, Reddit posts from around this time claim that the video was fully monetized. Speculation in this thread varies wildly, with some people saying that Joe was forced to run ads on all of...
Is this accurate? What are you people saying about this Jew Wario guy? That's a very funny name, though.
His videos due to his deal with Polaris, while others made the assertion that all of the revenue would be donated to Carmichael's family. Still, others insisted that the video was not monetized at all. Again, through my research, I can't say for certain if Joe made money from the memorial, but
yeah, he made about $7.
Regardless, it did serve to poke a hole in Vargas's credibility for a subsection of his audience. That and the fact that Jew Wario ended up being a rapist. But that's
wait a minute, Jew Wario. No. All right, I guess his death wasn't sad. I saw people saying it in the chat, but I was trying to see if it was real. We trusted you, Jew Wario. How could you do this?
For another day. Regardless of any controversy
that's a big segue.
He may have found himself in, though, the AngryJoe show was still widely viewed as a reliable source for well thought out and professionally edited game reviews for many years. But in 2017, fans noticed a drop off in the number of videos being uploaded to the channel. On July...
All right. The Witcher poll has now... After 30 minutes of being Yen in the... No, Yen is now it's 30. It's 32-32 on Yen versus Triss. I was about to stop the count when Yen was in control. Vote Yen, you rats, okay? We can't let Triss win. As soon as I see Yennefer go up to 33%, there we go. Ending the poll. Stopping the count. It's rigged. It's rigged. I'm rigging it, okay? Blame the riggers. The final best girl in Witcher 3 was Yen with 33%, Triss with 31%. I like men with 23% and 13% with Shani.
14th, both
that's the objective. That's the objective
explaining
result.
that they would be taking a 2-month hiatus from angry reviews due to burnout. This did upset some of his fans, but was largely understandable when presented in a vacuum. The real problem is what happened next. Just 4 days later, Vargas uploaded his video about the Season 7 premiere of Game of Thrones, taking the form of an hour-long unscripted discussion between him and his friends with minimal editing. Needless to
That's a very much like the video we just saw from him, though.
To say this is not what people wanted to see from the channel.
This is just ballot stuffing. Look, there are no rules here. Except use code COPE when you buy tea on the Dragon's Treasure.
Especially since he had just announced his hiatus of the series the majority of people were subscribed for. Both this discussion video and the break announcement were flooded with dislikes and irate comments accusing Joe of being lazy. Previously, when Joe had faced backlash from his fanbase, it was a small subset that he was able to ignore. But this was an overwhelming onslaught of anger, the likes of which he had never seen before. This was when Joe went on the offensive. He started replying to negative comments and then smugly posting those responses to Twitter to demonstrate how he especially owned the haters. So he got time to do a 1-hour-long review of a TV show, but he can't do a 20-minute game review? This shows the basic mentality of your below average YouTube commenter. They think that a 20-minute game review equals 20 minutes of work. How anyone finishes a single game in 20 minutes is beyond me, versus a 1-hour review of a TV show in which we sit in place and discuss something unedited. If you ever wanted to know why my YouTube comments are sometimes filled with stupid shit, this is the reason. Eventually, it got so bad that he turned off ratings and comments on the Game of Thrones video. But this decision...
Like, imagine being pushed out of your own YouTube comments. It's just a Game of Thrones video. Like, who gives a shit? Like, isn't that when Game of Thrones was turned into shit though as well though? It's like season 8 was like the disaster season, but like it really went off the rails at like season 4. So far, Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon season 3 is like the first episode is promising. I haven't seen the second episode yet, which I think came out today.
Only got him accused of further hypocrisy, since he had previously tweeted in 2014 that he would never under any circumstances disable comments on his YouTube videos. Rather than just deleting this tweet or ignoring it altogether, Joe posted a reply clarifying that he would disable them only if there was no great discussion and people are determined to make my comment section a fest in all videos.
Like I never understood this about how YouTubers get mad when people post comments in their chat. It's like the best thing in the world for a video is if people are arguing in the comments, because they keep coming back and arguing and arguing. It's so good for engagement. Maybe this is like engagement brain of mine or something. I don't know. But like if I can stoke a controversy or a fight like between two different sides or something in my videos, I absolutely will do that. I mean, I'm not going to be dishonest about it, but like if I see something like that you can make a... It's just very good. It's very good for the video.
In a strange...
Wait, you've heard that Sean is a rigger and a Yennefer fan, so use code COPE to support Trish? Interesting, if true.
Turn of events, despite previously talking about incredibly contentious topics like Arnita Sarkeesian and Gamergates.
Like it's actually really annoying because sometimes you're like, I don't do this, but you are incentivized to be wrong many times on YouTube. Of course, I've never had a wrong opinion in my entire life, but there are some YouTubers that actually go out of their way to make either wrong opinions or like spelling mistakes or weird grammar because it appeals to the sort of people that want to correct it. It's like how if you're trying to get like directions in an MMO, just give the wrong directions in public chat, and then someone will give you the correct ones because they'll have to correct you. They have a compulsion to do it.
Ended up becoming the biggest controversy of Joe's career. It was something that needed to be addressed before things got really out of hand, and so a few days later he uploaded a video explaining that the angry reviews were not stopping or even slowing down. He had a much calmer tone here than he did on Twitter, and it seemed to do the trick in turning the temperature down. Joe did indeed...
No, please don't flag video.
...return to making angry reviews after his break was over, but the fact that his channel was still filled with...
Is that the Smash JT special? I'm going to be honest, I've never seen any of Smash JT's videos. I saw him when he was like, he was doing the thing where everyone was like stealing quarterings. I mean, you can't steal quarterings videos because they're already stolen, but they were like putting their own thumbnails over it and saying like, check this guy out. What do you think about it? And there was like 5 creators deep and something. That's the only time I think I've seen one.
Scripted TV and movie...
All I know is that Smash JT has apparently got the ability to snatch defeat out of the jaws of victory in his case versus Alyssa McCunty, because he's being a bit cringe with the judge or something. I think I saw one of those in one of Sean's streams, unironically, which is a very good lore stream. That was about a month ago, because I remember where I was when I was listening to that stream.
Discussions and trailer reactions rubbed his fans the wrong way. More importantly, the way he had...
What the fuck? Sandwiches are better without the crust? No, they're not. Feel free to send your audience to my comment section to scream about how wrong you are. You're actually incorrect. Sandwich crusts are delicious. They don't actually have any more nutrients than the rest of the bread, but the crust is one of the best parts. It holds the thing together. It'd be like having Jell-O with no bowl.
Out on social media gave him a different vibe. While his audience...
Maybe that's not a good example. It'd be like having ice cream with no cone. There you go.
Previously viewed Joe as their buddy who felt as strongly about video games as they did, from this moment onward the relationship became much more antagonistic. As time went on, Joe and his fans started fighting more and more. Some of these were minor scuffles, such as his brief encounter with the Kingdom Hearts fanbase.
I just know this is stupid because it's like the Kingdom Hearts fan base is one of the most autistic groups you possibly ever encounter. It's maybe worse than the Undertale / Five Nights at Freddy's fan base. Yeah, I mean, just look from this thing, the character clusterfuck. The last Kingdom Hearts I played was Kingdom Hearts 2, which I actually think was a good game. I really like Kingdom Hearts. But it just got absolutely nonsense after that with the nobodies and the heartless and all the crap. It's like, who is who? Who's Ansem? Nobody's Ansem. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I unlocked the Birth by Sleep ending on Kingdom Hearts 2. And I was like, what the fuck is this?
This is a series known for deep and often confusing lore, giving it a bit of a stigma in the wider gaming community. This in turn has made its diehard fans...
The real key was courage, by the way, and friendship.
Incredibly protective...
There, now you don't have to play Kingdom Hearts.
Against any review...
Kingdom Hearts is for the autist. That said, I love Kingdom Hearts, it is. If you're a child, it's weird sometimes. What do you mean by this? That's a weird, out of context one.
...viewer who doesn't have a thorough understanding...
Never got into Kingdom Hearts. When you walk away, you didn't get it. Oh well. Look, you just had to. It was a vibe.
Ending of the franchise.
The
when Kingdom Hearts 3 was coming out, Joe caught flack from these avid players for exactly this reason, and made several posts about it on Twitter. The Kingdom Hearts community is one of the most elitist I've ever seen. I literally have people telling me not to review the game or they'll brigade me and harass me if I don't play all of the previous games first. No, you have 1,000 other diehard fan reviewers for that. Jesus.
I mean, this is correct. Like, Joe's not wrong about this, though. The Kingdom Hearts community is one of the most elitist. Yeah, I mean, basically anyone that's attracted to Japanese content in general is going to be autistic. For some reason, they're just like Japanese stuff, anime, manga, all that. It brings in all of the autism.
No,
but I mean, the first two Kingdom Hearts games are pretty good. I haven't played 3.
You have 1,000 other diehard fan reviewers for that. Jesus. Nah, I think at this point I'm going to refuse to play the other games just to spite all the crazies who are overreacting to newcomers daring to review a game on its own.
But like, you just ignore these people and do the review anyway. Like, who gives a shit about them? You can just make your own video. People will like yell at you and that's just good for you because then you get more engagement. Like, imagine being controlled by Twitter comments to not play video games.
What does my opinion even matter to these people? It's worth noting that Joe did not end up reviewing the Disney game outside of an unscripted impressions video after playing a brief snippet of the game at a convention. Other battles were not quite so isolated though. The game Battlefield 5 was a deeply controversial title from the moment that it was first announced for a variety of reasons.
Never mind.
For many years, Joe had been a vocal critic of the game's publisher EA, and many of his fans expected him to jump on the bandwagon of hate. Whatever criticisms he may have had of EA though, Vargas was still a huge fan of the Battlefield series, and produced a lot of videos covering the build-up to the game's release. It must be stated that one of the reasons gamers were upset was because the character who was put front and center in the marketing and box art was a woman with a mechanical hand, which naysayers argued was inaccurate to the realistic World War II setting.
This argument is so annoying because there's nobody who really takes this argument honestly. It's just like, well, you can't imagine seeing a woman in your fantasy game or something. And it's like, well, yeah, but like Lord of the Rings is a fantasy as well, but you wouldn't imagine seeing a Honda Civic driving through the Battle of Mordor, right? It wouldn't look right. There is like a vibe check to these sort of games. And like, that is like just ridiculous idea. You have like a disabled woman on the front lines of Battlefield. And if it's like a World War II style game, it's just very silly. If it's a futuristic game, it doesn't really matter. But like for things like Hogwarts Legacy, medieval games, and in particular historic games, if you start messing with that, people go absolutely nuts because it's just like, it's just weird. It just doesn't look right. You just know it just feels wrong.
Was a massive controversy during the game's initial reveal, and EA did themselves no favors by how they chose to respond. Their chief creative officer, Patrick Sutherland, spoke about the backlash in an interview saying, "The common perception is that there were no women in World War II. There were a ton
there were a ton of women in World War II that actually fought, but I think they were mostly Russian snipers, weren't they? Unironic, you could probably ask Sean about this. He'd know a lot more than me.
Women who both fought in World War II and partook in the war."
But like, people take this as a leap, like there was some women that fought or were forced to fight in self-defense, etc. And then they're like, well, that means that we can have female military commanders on the Allied side. That makes sense. It's like, well, no, that's a bit of a leap, bit of a stretch.
We don't take any flack. We stand up for the cause because I think those people who don't understand it, well, you have two choices. Either accept it or don't buy the game. Battlefield 5 ended up selling below expectations. The writing was on the wall even before launch day, since pre-orders were also disappointing to the corporate executives, and many irate gamers applauded this as another example of a company getting woke and going broke. In August of 2018, Joe made a video covering the low pre-orders for Battlefield 5.
Stop pre-ordering video games. Like, I don't know why people do this. I think this is one of the things that Total Biscuit died defending. I mean, well, he died of ass cancer, which was unrelated. But one of the things he went to his grave saying was like, don't pre-order video. Like, remember, no pre-orders. Like, what is the point? They're not going to sell out. Even if they do, like, I mean, these days it's impossible for them to sell out because they're digital. Like, there are people unironically pre-ordering digital copies of games of these days. There was some very funny guy on Twitter said that he pre-ordered like 50 copies of GTA 6 because he was going to sell them for more when it came out or something. But like, just stop it. I don't know. I'll never understand consumers. Like, I mostly only ever buy games if they are discounted on Steam a year after they come out, because I'll enjoy them all the same. I don't need to be with the hype of other people playing it. Now, there are some games, of course, I'll buy on release if it's a genre that I'm invested in or something.
When compared to the numbers for the next installment of the Call of Duty franchise. Basically, he wanted his FPS slop to sell better than the other FPS slop. More specifically, he covered all the reasons that the sales might be low that had nothing to do with social.
If you're certain you're going to like or keep playing it anyway, might as well. No, because you can just, your money now is worth more than money in the future. So by buying games now, it's a bad financial investment. You could unironically just put the money away into something else. You could lose it all in Bitcoin instead, then you can't afford video games, and you'll actually have to grind and make the money back, and you'll actually make some money.
Social media identity political discourse.
The Isle is a pre-order? No, it isn't. It's just in perpetual early access. That's different.
The Battlefield 5 franchise. And it sucks to watch this video because they're celebrating. They are celebrating the destruction and the lower sales of the Battlefield 5 franchise due to those goddamn liberals and those goddamn social warriors putting women in Battlefield. The reason why, to them, the Battlefield 5 is having lower pre-orders is because there are women on the box.
Wait, look at this comment. The V in Battlefield V stands for vagina. Wait, that's by Shadman? Fuck. I should have read the name of the fuck. Let's get out of here, chat.
There are women featured prominently in the trailers, and there are women in multiplayer.
Given what we
That was a really bad pause in my
know about Joe's personal beliefs, it's unsurprising that he didn't
why is Joe posting Shadman tweets?
Agree with the complaints about the female character. In fact, he thought it was an incredibly silly thing for people to get mad about. This was an outrage to people who had followed Joe in their war against greedy video game corporations for years. They thought EA was the epitome of what he stood against, and it was unthinkable to them that AngryJoe would sing the praises of one of their titles like this. Some even accused him of having becoming a paid shill. One of the people who...
I mean, that's the conclusion I kind of come to. Was he actually getting kickbacks for this Supergirl thing? Because why would you encourage everyone to go see this movie? Unless it's like actual just team sports, where he's like, oh, it has to do good because I love Superman. I can't let Green Lantern win or something. I don't know.
Got mad at Joe was the Quartering, a conservative YouTuber who had been covering the Battlefield 5 outrage.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about, actually. That's a very funny joke. He didn't actually buy it, though.
Accused Vargas of misrepresenting the controversy and of deleting negative comments. Joe then uploaded a response to the Quartering's video denying the allegation.
Oh, Quartering jump scare. I was trying to go Quartering free this week. I'm so pissed off at the Quartering at the moment, honestly. I'm burnt out. I mean, I still watch the shows that cover him. Like, I love my Don Flurgundy, and I guess the Casino will probably talk about him tomorrow, maybe. But like, I need to take a break from it. I'm getting burnt out on Jeremy. He's just such a piece of shit, and like he never changes, and it's so frustrating.
Of comment deletion and showcasing all the vitriol that had still been there. In his eyes, this proved the idea that
Major Kong with a 500 kicks. Thank you very much. Thank you for sending a chat that wasn't about using code criminal. The problem with Battlefield 5 was that the main character was a lesbian with a prosthetic arm and leg in the British SAS in 1944. That was illegal then. That's true. Didn't they put like Alan Turing on fucking like brain melting drugs for inventing the computer because he was a homo? Like that was actually pretty wild when I was watching the Intimidation game. I was like, I'm going to be honest. I didn't know who Alan Turing was until I watched that movie. I knew the Turing test. I knew he was a famous guy, but I didn't realize that he was the guy that invented computers was also gay, which makes sense because everything on the internet's gay. You can call me a play, but it's like, it's not my fault that I learned about Punamu in high school rather than actual real history. I'm a product of the New Zealand education system. You can't blame me for too much, okay? It's not my fault. I'm having to relearn. I'm re-educating myself as an adult. But pretty crazy story. A good movie though. I want to find more movies like that. Some biopics, you know. But I can't find a good recommendation. Was it really computers? It was a Turing machine. No, he invented computers, thinking machines. He made them. Then the Butlerian jihad against the homos happened.
But a lot of Battlefield 5 detractors had bigoted motivations.
I'm just making generalizations, okay?
So up you fucked up, you fat cuck. Bale made a cuck. God, you really are a cuck. Fucking sell out. What a fag. Angry cuck show. Not my Joe. Well, he's a dirty fucking Mexican. You sell out. Pissed off Pedro.
It should be noted that when Battlefield 5 finally launched, Vargas was much more critical of it. But at this point, the situation had grown beyond that, as it launched a long-standing beef between AngryJoe and the quartering. The two got into several
All right, now which side are we on, chat? If you have to, it's gun to your head. Who are you gonna shill for? The quartering or Joe? It's like nobody wins here. Do you just choose the bullet or something? We got Yellow Flash in the chat. How's it going, Yellow Flash? He says that's why I stopped as well. Covering quartering was making me angry and depressed. Like it's just so. He never learns, and he's doing the same thing over and over, and he's just like taking advantage of all these old boomers that don't know any better. And it's like the thing that's very frustrating with like covering liars like the quartering is it takes a second to lie, but it takes like minutes to disprove a lie. So we can just keep shitting out more lies over and over and over again, and it's just so time consuming. It gives you like a debt where you can never kind of catch up with all of the bullshit. So it's better to just call him a cuck and move on, basically, which he is.
Arguments on Twitter over the years, including one in September of 2020 about football players showing support for Black Lives Matter. A similar incident to the Battlefield 5 saga happened with the release of Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. You don't need me to tell you about the controversy surrounding this movie, since the effects of it are still being felt to
covering AngryJoe has been fun. It has been fun. Like, here's the thing though, like Yellow Flash. What was it all for? What was this? What was the seething sessions on Twitter for? Joe didn't even like the movie either. It was like he burned his entire whatever credibility he had left. For what reason? Like, why attack like Disparu and Nerdrotic, yourself and people? Like, it doesn't make and like Critical Drinker. Like, why call these people out for a movie that he didn't even like? Is it actual just dented behavior or something? Not a good plan.
This very day.
Oh my goodness, I'm turning Japanese. I can't even pronounce my L's tonight.
Nobody was able to have a neutral opinion.
Been eating too many
it was
sushi.
Either the single greatest or single worst thing to ever happen to Star Wars. Joe was largely positive on it, which in and of itself courted some controversy.
Sarcastic Persephone gifted 5 subs. Let's go.
But even though he liked the movie, he still posted a video with his friends titled Top 10 Reasons Why The Last Jedi Made Me Angry. The image of
this is like quartering that never hit. I don't know who this guy is. I don't, maybe I shouldn't make fun of him.
The thumbnail spread briefly as
a
a meme
nice
on Twitter, leading to Joe inadvertently becoming one of the faces of the anti-Last Jedi crowd online. Many people who didn't watch his video just assumed he flat out hated the film. That group was sorely disappointed a few days later when...
What's crazy is how many careers The Last Jedi launched. There are several massive channels on YouTube that only exist because they hate The Last Jedi. Rightly so, by the way. We got Letty with a 5, says, if everything is late and Ricada on the internet, use code CRIMINAL to get some straight tea. I'm pretty sure 90% of the support that we've got today is for Sean. Maybe I should go talk about. Maybe I should go give Sean a piece of my mind right now. Hold on. All right,
Shredder
Sean.
S07 says we need decisions every day now, just like voting.
All right, we're going to launch an attack on Sean right now.
If it's
here we
tomorrow
go.
morning, chat, I am going to be preoccupied. I have to do some work.
Where's my emotes? Here it is.
I'm actually going to be in court, so I'm not going to have a chance to be here.
There we go.
Have to be in video court. Not really like I'm not.
There
going
we
back
go.
to
Now everyone in Sean's chat knows to use code
Also,
COPE.
if you guys are new, my name's Sean. Also, is potentially criminal.
Stop
I'm an
sending
attorney from
stop
Ohio,
sending
so
your
I live in
rats to
Ohio.
my thing,
I just
Sean.
moved to Florida, so now
He's
it's
moved to
like,
Florida.
ready for the Florida bar. But I still practice.
All right, I'm gonna get out of here before he shills his code.
Vargas posted another vlog titled
We'll
Top 10
we'll
Things I
stream
Got
Red Sean after this stream if he's still got.
Wrong about The Last Jedi, going over the way he had accidentally misrepresented the film in his previous upload. This infuriated onlookers who believed Joe was backpedaling his opinion. Others once again accused him of selling out when they discovered his network, Maker Studios, was owned by Disney. To be honest though,
That is
none
a
of
conflict
those
of interest.
incidents are all that bad. Sure, they may have harmed Joe's credibility in the eyes of some
Do you
people.
want to see his reaction? Do we have to go back to the Sean? Let's see.
No. But yeah, we do it. This place, SCOTUS blog, does a lot of great things. They have a lot of
What's
statistics
this?
to allow you to
Discord,
track.
please.
Like, and you might say this sounds really kind of goobery, and it is, but it allows you to check statistics of like how things go.
I'm just gonna spam some
in,
bees in his
each one of
chat or
these
something. There we go.
opinions and how
He's
things
talking
are
about
done.
SCOTUS shit.
Ooh,
He's getting
who's
phone
this?
calls. He's getting a call. He bought
Let me see here.
Doompit. He better not be getting a code call right now from the Dragon's Treasure.
Have I a history of this person? Okay.
It's the mystery call. He got the call.
Hold on, chat. I gotta.
What the fuck is this chat thing? That is Sean got his like SCOTUS blog chat open?
Hold on here.
All right, we'll come back to Sean later.
But there's really no evidence
got a shower
to suggest
call?
he
Yeah,
was
he did.
actually being paid for his opinions. Even if he was saying things some people didn't agree with, there was nothing here that had the potential to destroy his career.
But here's the thing. Is it worse to be a paid shill or just a shill for free? Because the person that shills for free, isn't that just pathetic? Because I can kind of respect paid shills more because at least they're getting something out of the offer. But Joe's just like he does it for free. He shills Disney and Star Wars and SuperGirl for free. Depends why the person is shilling for free. Apparently because he just hates Trump or something is the reason.
No, if someone wanted to attempt that, they would need...
All right, well, here's the question. Do you respect a prostitute versus a slut? Oh, that's a tricky one. Huh. I mean, actually, I don't know how to answer this question. What would I respect more, a prostitute or a slut? What's the difference? Well, one of them has more money. That's a conversation I'd need to think over with a nice hot cup of tea from the Dragon's Treasure using code COPE to come to a conclusion. What do you think, chat?
some stronger ammunition.
Do you still do Stoney's ads for free? No, I don't do them for free. I do them to upstage Sean.
This brings us to June 20th, 2020, when a Twitter user named Ashley came forward with a story from April of 2018. According to her, she had met Joe during a party at the PAX East Gaming Convention, and
I think the sluts are winning.
two had followed each other on Twitter. After she got back to her Airbnb, she messaged him and offered to go to his panel the next day, to which he replied, "Def, see you at the panel," which I haven't prepared for at all and will most likely be a complete disaster. LOL. But maybe you can cheer me up after it sucks balls? Ashley claimed
Didn't read the smiley face. That's a bit of a weird message. I mean, maybe not like a pervy message, but it's just a weird message.
to have missed the flirty tones of this message, though I don't know how. The next day after the panel, Joe allegedly whisked her away from her friend before she had time to react and
Wait a minute, Joe. No. Hey, Ashley, you want to grab some dinner with me and some people from YouTube after the panel?
invited her to a dinner he had scheduled with his YouTube representatives. On the cab ride there, he briefly lost his phone and asked to use Ashley's to call it, eventually discovering it was in his pocket all along. In hindsight,
Huh? What? That's some cringe shit. Like, he had the phone in his pocket. Was he just trying to get his number in there, or like check her phone messages, or like pictures or something? What do you mean the phone was in his pocket the whole time? That's a bit of a weird story.
Ashley suspected this was a ploy to get her phone number. Before heading to the restaurant, the two made a brief stop at Joe's hotel so he could take a shower. He allegedly asked her if she wanted to join him, but she refused, waiting in his
He ends up taking a shower and asking me to join him. I laugh and say, "You're funny." Bro. Not the "you're funny" response to the actual sexual joke. Like, it's like the thing where if men joke about having sex versus the men that will actually have sex with you, and it's just a circle, but it's a Venn diagram. If a man is joking about it, he means it. No, not the "you're funny" response. That's like the kill shot. That's a big oof. It's a big fucking matzo ball to leave out on the table.
His room until he was finished. They then sat next to each other awkwardly at the foot of his bed for a few minutes until their table was ready, during which time he reportedly took a selfie with her for some reason. Once at the dinner...
First of all, this is brutal. But second of all, do women really just go to men's hotel rooms and just wait while they take showers? Like, do American women really?
Ashley claims Joe introduced her to everyone as his girl and didn't let her use her phone at all to contact her friend or her boyfriend. Afterward, she was whisked away to yet another party at a bar where her phone was taken away for several hours. By the time she had finally got it back, Joe had gotten drunk and began angrily asking her who she was trying to contact. Suspecting it was her boyfriend, he allegedly...
Like, Joe's got no game. He got a woman to his hotel room where he was naked and he couldn't seal the deal. Like that, like, that's a big... I mean, Joe is so unserious to women that they have no fear of being around him when he's naked in a hotel room, because they just know that he's not that... he's not a threat or anything. It's like... It's like when they drug a tiger and the chicks are like tickling their balls or some shit for Instagram photos. They're like, "Oh, what are you gonna do? You're drugged up. You can't do shit to me. I'm gonna kick you in the nuts."
Lashed out at Ashley, accusing her of using him for clout. After the fact, Ashley had tweeted about the situation without naming names and had contacted Joe's management company, who claimed that it would be taken care of. When the woman saw nothing coming of it, which in hindsight, what the hell did she expect would be done, she finally decided to take matters into her own hands and publicly warn people about Joe. As far as evidence is concerned, Ashley didn't have much beyond screenshots.
The queen of the feeders? Have we found Josh Moon's wife?
Shots of text from Joe and from anonymous people from the event, who agreed that she had been treated inappropriately, whatever that means. When Ashley posted these allegations with Joe's name attached, they quickly started making waves. You have to remember that the 2020 lockdowns were the absolute height of Me Too stories about YouTubers on Twitter, bringing even more attention to this tale than it otherwise may have gotten. Joe chimed in a couple of days later, unequivocally denying the claims and stating that his lawyer would be getting involved. The day after that, he posted a twit longer giving his side. As he tells it, he had never suggested having sex, nor had he ever prevented her from contacting her friends. Ashley had simply been an invited guest who hung out with him for a day, nothing more or less. While we don't know exactly how the situation transpired after Joe made the statements, Ashley deleted her blog post with her accusations, and hasn't been active online for several years.
Good, that's one less woman on the internet.
While the woman's story was bizarre as it frames some awkward flirting as a Me Too story, at the same time, Joe claiming that he didn't have a romantic interest in her is also laughable. Come on, man, you met a random girl at a convention, invited her to a restaurant with your YouTube reps to look like a big shot, and brought her back to your hotel room as you invited her to take a shower. Let's not deny what was going on here. Like you didn't do anything illegal, so why present it like you just wanted to be friends? That essentially brings us to modern day, as Joe has mostly stayed out of the public since then. He was tangentially involved in the Change the Channel controversy when
I kind of like that jacket. It's like a cyberpunk jacket, but like it's got AngryJoe on it. I guess it's like a cosplay, but it kind of looks. Joe makes it look worse, but I kind of like the lights in the collar.
Practically every Channel Awesome creator made a mass exodus from the site.
Who cares? He gave it a shot. I mean, realistically, Joe didn't do anything bad here. It's just cringe and funny to laugh at. I mean, I'm sure all of us have had cringe situations, but like ours aren't publicized. That's the important part.
It appears, though, Joe made very little noise about it, only posting a single tweet saying he had left the site for unspecified reasons. These days, the vast majority of the content on the Angry Joe Show channel are unscripted discussion videos, with proper angry reviews popping up once in a blue moon. Even then, many of the videos in this series have become off-the-cuff conversations. This has undoubtedly alienated a lot of his former fan base, but he makes enough money to sustain his lifestyle for the foreseeable future. Outside of YouTube, he also still spends a lot of time arguing on Twitter, but he mainly sticks to politics and his hatred of the Trump administration rather than video game discourse.
I think that's the real reason that he wants some people to go see Supergirl, because of Trump bad.
Conclusion, I put Joe in an archetype I like to call the YouTube boomer. Now approaching middle age, he appears to have given up on trying to reinvent his content.
He really did get chunk. Like, wait, is this edited? Did they make this look fatter? Is this a true and honest photograph? It's like he's inverted it. It's like his head became an inverted pyramid. I mean, like this one's the inverted pyramid. This is the pyramid. He's just fat? Okay.
Instead, sticking to providing easy-to-make videos to an aging millennial audience that watches as comfort food. Regardless of how you feel about his current content, it can't be understated how iconic he was during the early days of online video reviews. And the fact that he never really got into any major controversies in his 20-year career should be commended.
Is that like the... I mean, I guess... I'm curious, like, Gamer from Mars must have known the controversy was coming. I wonder if there's any new comments from people that are like talking about the thing. Let's see. Just jealous, saying that he's just jealous. This video could not have been timed any better. I'm glad there's someone that agrees with me. Simply Be Smalls is good. All right, changing gears entirely. We're going over to a bit of someone we've covered in the past. This is actually by a new channel. I haven't seen this one before. It's by Liquid Sonic. He's only got 15,000 subscribers. Go subscribe to Liquid Sonic, okay? This is the bizarre downfall of gaming legend Jim Stephanie Sterling. We've covered Jim Sterling before when he did his 800,000 celebration when his channel's going backwards. He's now down to 720,000 and it's gotten bad. It's gotten bad. Like he's like a PNG tuber now. He's like this like trans big titty crab PNG. Did you do below 800,000 or 900,000? Good question. I think it was 800,000. But let's take a quick look at this one, and then we might see the cyberpunk thing if we have got time.
The autistic British gamer acting as
what a way to start a video. I'm already going to like the video. By the way, like, can we get some Fs in the chat for Total Biscuit? He was a real one. Nobody could make a 20-minute segment on the menus and a screen more entertaining than Total Biscuit. The FOV sliders, oh my goodness, yes. Tell me more, Total Biscuit.
a consumer advocate on YouTube. The content of the past, from the likes of Yahtzee Croshaw, Total Biscuit, and Jim Sterling, is something I look back at quite fondly. Some people...
Here's a fun fact about Jim Sterling. He's so cringe, he tried to invent his own food. And he tried to come up with a Sterling sandwich, which was literally bread, slices of onion, bread. That was it. It was literally just an onion sandwich. That's the one fact I know about Joe, apart from his I know a lot of his facts from his later years, but I mean, this is when he was still at least wearing suits.
Will have criticisms of them, I am sure, especially for Sterling, but on the whole, these people were seen as honest, independent creators willing to dig their heels in when it came to...
So this is the cringiest thing. This is my cringiest, like, youthful aspiration, is that I really like the Co-Optional podcast. I love this show. It was such a good show. And when I was making gaming videos, my dream was to be on the Co-optional podcast and play a round of Secret Hitler or Battlestar Galactica with the gang. But it never happened. It never will happen now. I'll always be chasing that dream. Because now, I think they still do the Co-optional podcast, but I mean, once TV left, it wasn't the same, obviously.
Advocating for the consumers of video games. And I'm more than willing to consider that I may have a rose-tinted pair of nostalgia goggles on, but I see it
now. What do we feel about Jesse Cox? Is he based or cringe? I know that he's been really cucked in the last few years, but I think secretly he wants to be based, but he's just like appealing to his audience, who is like very leftist at this moment. But like when there was the Traps gay comment, and I think it was when he saw the two paths in front of him and he decided to go for the weak path. But he used to be funny.
A decade ago is a much better time for gaming and the discourse surrounding it. Nowadays, Yahtzee is still doing his thing. He seems to have a good reputation and be an honest and respectable guy. Then there's Total Biscuit, who is sadly no longer with us. Some may not have liked his autistic screeds and his art.
No, they were good. They were good. So like Total Biscuit died of like unironically of prostate cancer. Get your assholes checked, I guess, if you're 40 or something. I mean, I'm getting close to that, so I guess I'm going to have to make an appointment for that as well soon. But like, there are some signs, obviously.
Who is sadly no longer with us. Some may not have liked his autistic screeds and his R-Traps gay controversies in his later life.
All right, so to break this down, what happened here?
Some may not have liked his autistic screeds.
I was wondering if you're going to say
R-Traps.
So this happened at a panel at CoxCon, and this is Jesse Cox. So I know some people don't know who this is. He's a gaming YouTuber. They had a panel with, I think it was Jesse Cox, maybe Crendor, the Total Biscuit was there, and there was like some transsexual chick on the panel, I guess, or dude or whatever, I don't know. And then someone, as a joke, asked the question to, are traps gay? And Jesse laughed at this. And that was a big meme at the time. And I guarantee you he thought that was funny, and he wanted to say a funny response, but then Total Biscuit got mad and said, like, that's totally inappropriate or something to that effect, because one of the members on the panel was also just happened to be trans. But that was a funny joke. And I think this is the moment where he could have chosen to be the Chad or the Chud, and he decided to go for the numbers instead. Very disappointing by Mr. Cox.
Gay controversies in his later life, but I see this as a great loss. And then there's Jim fucking Sterling's son. Now their career tells a bit of a different story. They have had a particularly unique and weird fall from grace, losing around 180,000 subs and having their reputation tarnished. Some progressive types claim Sterling's fall off is just due to transphobia, but
sorry, Major Kong, the kick auto moderator is very aggressive, but I'll read your comment. TB was a good one. Jim Sterling was just an ass that couldn't make it, so he had to change. Super cringe. Like this is the absolute state of Jim Sterling these days, Chad.
Alongside the cartoonish transition,
favorite indie wrestler. Like the wrestling thing is so perverse because he's basically beating up smaller women.
Dive so drastic that a once well-liked figure is now dragged into the modern era as a pathetic, unwatchable, and at times detestable person. But before we suffer through any of that, let's take it back to the good old days and look at Jim Sterling's entry to content creation.
Zelda fans, you're wrong, you're stupid, and your mothers didn't raise you right. Hi, I'm Jim Sterling, and I used to think that Fallout fans were the biggest fucking idiots on the planet. Then Diablo 3 was announced, and then I realised that it was Diablo fans who were, indeed, the biggest fucking idiots on the planet. But then Sonic 4 was announced, and, well, we all know what Sonic fans are like.
Now, as you can see, Jim has always given off the extravagant theatre kid vibe, but he has talked about having a fairly rough upbringing. He's talked about how, as a child, he would travel around the UK with a Hell's Angel as a stepfather, but he still found the drive.
I think we've diagnosed the cause of his transition.
To try his hand at stand-up comedy,
absent father,
and becoming a games journalist. The latter would eventually pay off, as he got a job in 2007 with Destructoid, and it was here where Jim started his most well-known series, The Jimquisition. In its first form, it was simply Jim stood in front of a white wall, going on an epic rant about some gaming topic, and they'd be uploaded on the Destructoid channel. This was very low-budget, uncontroversial stuff, but it would show that Jim could perform, and his show for a time would move to The Escapist. Here he would develop The Jimquisition into more of an elaborate show. He would play a character of this arrogant, self-aggrandizing games journalist turned great dictator. He'd make more serious critiques of the video game industry, along with making his character more animated and manic.
Again, this is another artifact of like the internet of the past. I think as the toys began to overtake the podium, that was a sign for the worse.
But looking back at these now 12-year-old videos, unsurprisingly, they don't quite hold up. There was creativity on display from Jim, but mostly his comedy made me feel like I was talking to a Redditor that listens to electro swing.
Space 3 caused a major ruckus when it was revealed it would have free-to-play elements. The producer's justification, which remains on record as one of the silliest ever spoken out loud by an adult, was that mobile gamers expected freemium elements, therefore a horror game based for console users definitely needed it. Yeah, logic? Anyway.
Now that wants to make me fucking bite down on a curb, but who am I, some stupid asshole in the
See how the toys are increasing? That's not a good sign.
To be saying this, because at the time this made him very popular. So much so that he decided to go independent. He launched his own YouTube channel and a Patreon with great success, and would go on to make weekly Jimquisition videos, mostly ranging between 10 and 30 minutes in length for over a decade. And it must be stated again, this show in its heyday was a huge hit. He was regularly hitting over 500,000 views on episodes of the Jimquisition on his then Jim Sterling channel. And
Like back then, that was basically infinite money on YouTube, and he was also making about $15,000 a month on Patreon. Like, he was making some serious bank.
one of the things that aided him in his astronomical success was his drama with the games company Digital Homicide and their $15 million lawsuit against him.
Like, a brief summary of this, because this is how I learned about Jimquisition, was that he basically reviewed a shit game, and they tried to sue him for defamation, and it turns out they were just like this shitty asset flip company, and it kind of like skyrocketed his name brand recognition across the internet.
Along with the Jimquisition, Sterling also started a first impression series called Squirty Play. This would be similar to Total Biscuit's WTF Is series, but he would often play comically bad games. In 2014, one such game that he played was Slaughtering Grounds. On first impressions, this was just a particularly bad and verging on unplayable Steam game, and it wasn't out of the ordinary for Jim to find and mock games such as this. But on this occasion, the game developers Digital Homicide saw Jim's video and reacted to it by adding sarcastic text over the video mocking
Hello, this is Jim Sterling, and I'm a fucking idiot. Don't believe me? Well, just watch this piece of shit review I made. Imagine being angry that someone made a video about your video game.
Jim. Observe the text here. Hello, this is Jim Sterling, and
Oh,
I'm
there
a
you
fucking idiot. Don't believe me? Well, just watch this piece of shit review I made. Jim then reacted to this, pretty much just laughing at the absurdity of it the whole way through.
Hello everyone, it's Jim Sterling here, and I've upset a developer, I think. As you can see, they re-uploaded yesterday's Squirty Play of Slaughtering Grounds and then added text annotations, slagging me off and calling me an idiot.
Like, unironically, if they didn't sue him, they probably would have came out of this ahead. There's no such thing as bad
calling me a
publicity.
fucking idiot again. This... It's my fault for thinking that when you pause the game will pause. I didn't realise that the Slaughtering Ground devs were going for a Dark Souls thing here. I should have spotted from the art direction and the gameplay layout that I won't mention there. I was running around aimlessly since I haven't made any attempt to actually
Exactly, there is a
figure
niche
out
for
this far.
shitty
I will be sure
games.
to blame the developer and Steam for my failure in taking the time to evaluate the game before I review it. Why do you say? Because I'm Jim fucking Sterling's son.
In response to this, Digital Homicide struck Jim with a DMCA claim.
This is where they fucked up. They could have made like crazy money if they just leaned into this drama, because it was free advertising for their slop shovel game.
Tactic would also be used by the Skateman Rescue devs and Cobra Studios, hoping that this would silence Jim's criticisms.
Now, Jim did something really clever here, actually, because as I recall, he came up with this like method for like felting the studios, where he would upload several different games or videos which weren't related to the review, so that all the studios would try and copyright each other and like force them to like fuck with each other. It was actually pretty smart and kind of based. So Jim had some good ideas, although I never really was a fan of his because he's so fucking cringe with his like, I'm Jim fucking Sterling, son. He was just like too up himself for my likes. Like, I like my British people to be self-deprecating, not confident.
Video was down for about 2 weeks, but Jim did manage to get the
Even if
video
it's faux
reinstated,
confidence.
and this ended up being a huge W for him, because he created a Jimquisition episode tearing apart the game and the bad actions of the developers.
The game's blood effects, for example, were taken from Google image search. You can even see where they failed to wipe the white background from the blood in the game. Slaughtering Grounds' official artwork is a desktop wallpaper made by someone else and not credited, and it was of course discovered that Imminent Uprising was censoring negative feedback, as well as banning anybody who had anything bad to say about the game or its creator.
Also, Jim mocked them relentlessly for their stupid legal takes.
It seems Imminent Uprising takes phrases absolutely literally, as shown in an email it sent to Popad where it declared that my video wasn't protected under fair use because my criticism was unfair. Yes, these guys believe that fair use means fair use. As in, if you think the critic is being a meanie poophead, you can try and weaponize the legal system against them.
And as Jim Sterling knew 10 years ago, making an argument such as that is incredibly fucking stupid. Jim did it with malice, did he? But again, this was a big hit for Jim. He handled it greatly, he did not back down, everyone was on his side, and he got 3.5 million views on this video.
Yeah, and if they just hadn't copyright struck him, like it never works out for anyone that does this. That's like 3.5 million views of like free publicity. Now, are people going to think it's a good game? No, but if even 1% of those people buy the game, what is that, like 35,000 sales?
I must say, it was genuinely great content, and a year later, Jim decided to revisit Digital Homicide and investigate their other games. Jim found out that Digital Homicide were spam releasing games that were no more than Unity Store assets, and they were using shell publishers to cover their tracks as they flooded the then Steam Greenlight program with asset flips and low-effort games and not build a bad reputation for Digital Homicide whilst doing so. So, in retaliation to this, Digital Homicide filed a lawsuit against Jim pro se, meaning they wrote the documents themselves. And initially, with this lawsuit, they seeked damages of $10 million, and some of the claims in this lawsuit were just demented. They claimed that Jim comparing them to the thieves in Home Alone was libel. They claimed that Jim wearing a witch doctor mask and calling himself the steam cleaner was done to incite harassment, and that there was a civil conspiracy between Sterling and Valve to undermine Digital Homicide's business.
The thing is, like, things like this were actually based by Jim Sterling, but then he had to go and ruin it all. I guess, I don't know, what is it, the money? Well, I guess maybe it was the childhood antics, I suppose.
So as stated, the lawsuit was initially $10 million, but because of the increasing amount of emotional stress Digital Homicide...
To be fair, we should have known when he was wearing the leather gloves and the rose-tinted glasses. It was kind of all on the table from the beginning.
were under due to Jim's videos. The lawsuits were amended, taking these extra damages into account. The first amended complaint increased the damages to $12.5 million. Then a second amended complaint increased the damages to $15 million. Fortunately, a motion to dismiss was granted.
Wait, so is this true? He stated he's for deplatforming and censorship? Really? That's unfortunate. Was he always like that? I remember when this happened, like, everyone was on his side because obviously, like, trying to silence his YouTuber was ridiculous as a studio.
And the case was dismissed with prejudice, meaning any similar lawsuits from Digital Homicide could not be filed against Jim in the future. Jim then went on to make more content about it. He absolutely mocked them and was seen positively across the board, and an attempt to silence a creator only made them far more powerful. At this point in time, his Patreon was making a shitload of money. In 2013, Jim was earning around $10,000 from it, and at his peak in 2022, he almost hit $15K. Jim would go on to get quite a few wins throughout this period of time. For example, as Jim was taking home the money with Patreon, he decided to turn off ads for his channel, meaning then he also wouldn't have to worry so much about content ID. But the problem that Jim ran into was that when he covered something from a major publisher, they would then grab the video and run their ads on it. So in retaliation to this, Jim came up with a plan called the copyright deadlock.
And this was actually really based.
Would intentionally show copyrighted content throughout his videos of all of the major publishers that were known for claiming videos. And this would result in multiple companies claiming the same video and then having to dispute each other's claims. This would mean that there would become a stalemate, and eventually no ads would end up running on the video.
Provided you know a content ID claim is coming, not terribly hard to predict, and can find some other content ID match content to include, easy as fuck, you can at the very least make sure nobody is making money off of your work, even if it also means you can't either. And I mean, if you weren't going to make money off it anyway, you might as well make a mockery of the system and take a petty little victory as reward. We have a system where it's actually better to infringe on as much copyright as possible than abide by fair use. A system where I'm now not worried about using whatever music or footage I like, because it literally doesn't matter whose rights I'm encroaching on anymore.
Like, this was a wild time on YouTube. Like, I remember when I was doing videos, like, I couldn't do BioShock because there was too much copyright stuff in that game. And like, there actually used to be a time in YouTube where you'd have to write an email to game companies and ask for permission to upload gameplay, like Let's Plays, to YouTube. Now, not many people actually did that. And it didn't last very long, but there was a time where it was like, we copyright struck your video. You didn't send us an email saying you could play this game on your channel. Game companies figured out very quickly that this was a retarded idea.
No, at the end of the day, this isn't a huge thing, but it was clever for him to figure it out, and it's very entertaining to watch it play out. And things like this would endear him to so many people. Again, when Konami were deciding to stop making games and sell out all their big franchises to make pachinko machines, Jim was there to rip the shit out of them, and again, it was pretty entertaining. And even back then, when he started to get called out, he revealed in a Fallout video that he was polyamorous and some type of bisexual.
And this is where it all starts to go down fucking hill. We know how this story ends.
And he was just like, fuck you, I don't care. And at the time, it was like, he may be some weird gay fat cuck, but you know, he's talking about Konami and Ubisoft. His degenerate activities would leak into the show, but not at all like how they would eventually end up doing. A criticism that I would have of the golden era of the Jimquisition, though, is he did start to get quite self-indulgent. Like the amount of time he spent talking about boglins, for example, as a viewer at the time, did start to test my patience. And this goes for anyone that does a weekly schedule of releasing videos this size, but he would phone it in on occasions and release something that really wasn't worth the viewer's time. So overall, I do find the dry and mean style of comedy that Yahtzee has more appealing to Jim's, and he may not have weaponized his autism as effectively as Total Biscuit did, but when he was talking about the games industry, he was a guy the average person could get behind. And I'd say when he was on his best run, probably around 2016, he did make some good content.
So as far as I'm concerned, we're done. Thank God for me.
I always found that super fucking cringe.
Not worth it.
So then why don't we look at the bad? And I believe this did start to come pre-2020 with Jim's podcast, The Podquisition, and Jim's co-host, Laura Kate Dale. I have covered Laura.
And here we go. Actually, this may have been the one that was at the CoxCon that was on the panel when Jesse Cox was asked whether traps are gay. I think it is this one, actually.
In the past. They are the stereotype you already think they are through and through. They're an autistic, trans, hyperwoke, sex-obsessed games journalist that
I think we're going to need more information to narrow it down. In the games company, in the games industry, you're going to have to be more specific, unfortunately.
Said journalism with being an irritant woke scold that often gets things wrong and still fails upwards. I think Laura is what triggered Total Biscuit to totally spaz out about the R-Traps gay thing because they got very...
I'm pretty sure that's the one. I know that Jesse Cox is a chud in hiding. I know he's hiding his power level. I want to believe.
Upset about the comment.
R-Trap's gay. No, genuine question.
And the Podquisition was just endless sex jokes and complaining. It seemed like they were only ever happy when they were talking about sex, which really was an upsetting insight of what was going to come with Jim. And
well, if you're just listening to the show,
talking about sex, which really was an upsetting insight of...
There appears to be someone dressed up as Catwoman, covered in shit. Katie, with the 12-month comment says, blue-haired, weirdo uses code cope, don't be him. Come on now.
What was going to come with Jim. And personally, I became an unknown psychic enemy of Laura at this point and stopped enjoying Sterling's content in turn. He did have some stupid dramas as well, like people were trying to DDoS him and dox him because he gave Breath of the Wild a 7 out of 10. Even
Zelda fans are also retarded. I mean, they're good games, but like if you're a fan, and like actually, if you identify as a fan of something, I think you are retarded. Harada with a 50 sec says, first heard of him through Total Biscuit, co-optional podcast. Jim's been around for a long time. Surprised to see how far he's fallen on EFAP. Did they cover him on EFAP or was he on EFAP? But yeah, like Total Biscuit for some reason had like a mad man crush on Jim Sterling. It's like he thought he was so cool or something. And while he did do a few funny base things, like the copyright thing and like doing the lawsuits and everything, or like defending against the lawsuits, he was just like kind of unwatchable.
Missing how ridiculous it is to get pissed off at something like that, retrospectively, that's quite a fair score. He also got in quite a lot of shit for giving Hellblade a 1 out of 10 due to a game-breaking bug. I think this was more seen as fishing for drama and attention-seeking over trying to make a good point. And I think it must be said,
EFAP is as bad as Jim. Say it ain't so. I love my EFAP. I haven't seen it in a while. Like I used to watch it quite religiously though. I just haven't got the time to watch 8 hours like streams anymore. Like there's only so many 8-hour streams I can fit in a day, and like the slots are very valuable. Okay.
Has never really been good at games. I think he has the typical games journalist level of skill, but people weren't really there for his gaming reviews. They were there for his exposés on bad business practices. They were there for the Jimquisition. Even the Squirty Plays series stopped eventually. I think when Steam opened the floodgates, there was no novelty in finding a shit game. But eventually, the Jimquisition...
Rags is a zoophile degen. I think he's a furry. I don't think he's a zoophile. There's a difference, okay? I feel like I'm going to get flack for even knowing that there is a difference, but I've watched a lot of good Jim's videos to know about this.
Would also start to change. And this came with Jim Sterling announcing that they were a trans femme non-binary. They became a new person named James Stephanie Sterling.
Oh, hi, didn't see you there.
All right, here we go. This is when things go all the way down.
I'm Femme Sterling.
Wait, actually, this is a good time to take a quick break. 30-second break. Be right back, okay, chat? I've got to go I'm just trying to distance myself from that zoophile comment, basically. Here we go. We'll play the supercut.
How is
I'm Tiger.
okay. Let's see. Oh,
Strong.
the this the, I mean, like,
Oh.
as much as I want to, like, it's just like you know, like,
I only played half of that. That goes on for another minute, chat. Okay. I'm Tiger. All right, now we're going to continue with the gym because we're actually, I guess we're only 24 minutes. Do you guys want to see the Cyberpunk teaser? Cyberpunk Edge Runners Season 2 official trailer starts in 23 minutes. I figure we stick around for it, right? There better not be fucking titties in it because Cyberpunk is very sexual. I'm not going to get yeeted off of YouTube today. We'll find out. It's been a good run. Why not? Let's see what happens. Then I can go full-time on Kick. That'd be great.
Here on the Gymquisition for the first time. Fuck. So I've been pretty much full-timing it in my non-binary finery. Been doing that on some social media, been doing that on live streaming, been doing that in this building, and as of last night, recording now, like outside. So fuck it, here we are.
At first, James announced that they were pansexual gender trash. At one point, their gender identity on Google was non-binary gender trash girl from the gender dumpster. People were skeptical as to how seriously James was taking their transition.
Like, yeah, because it looks like they were just playing a bit. You have this like larger than life character physically and like entertainmentally, right? And then they just one day they show up in this like ridiculous outfit and they demand to be taken seriously.
Owen Jones, though, he interviewed them shortly after, congratulating them about coming out, but many of the Gymquisition's casual fan base were daunted to see this new person before us. And let's be real, like, they start wearing a collar with a dog tag on.
This isn't even the worst of it. It gets to the point where Jim just spends like 5 fucking hours talking about his big meaty titties, and it's like, it's unwatchable.
Is really off. Normally I'd see a channel like this and I'd think, oh, that's a bit weird, but I wouldn't dwell on it. But then this is the Gymquisition, come on. And the character has always been a comic caricature as well. But now we have what looks like a comic caricature, but needs to be taken very seriously. And now the Gymquisition is whatever the hell this is. Some of these clips coming up are difficult to watch, but I do think examples need to be given.
Before we get cracking with today's video, I have a spooky Halloween story for you. So settle in. Content warning, by the way, for upchuck references. And, well, I guess we could call it medical body horror. So, this weekend, had a wrestling booking, was traveling with a friend and colleague who I quite like. So, like...
ADW Raptor, using their member chat for 15 months, says, have you all heard of Code Criminal? I have not. What is this? Is it for like games or something?
I was trying to be like hot and sexy at him for most of the day. I'll let you know how that ended up. Later that evening, I threw up all over his bathroom because the HRT I'm currently on has convinced my body that it's pregnant.
No, maybe it's poisoning your body. That's why you threw up.
Fun.
They then go on to tell more of the awkward story about them throwing up at a guy's house that they thought was cute. See, it's difficult for me because I am all for YouTubers making whatever they want and not being at all beholden to their audience. But then again, this is not what we signed up for. James then went on to talk more about their phantom pregnancy on Yahtzee's podcast.
And that's what
this is the funniest clip actually, because you've got all of these people like the Windbreaker podcast. Like this is for Second Wind. Basically, all of these people were like on the Escapist, and they were game professionals, and they left their various things. You've got obviously Yahtzee's the most important and most influential here, I guess. And they decided to do this thing, and they're all normal people. And then you have this person down here, and they have the most cringiest thing. And Yahtzee's just like, you're going to hear it. It's crazy.
One of the things I was going to mention in the catch-up at the beginning is that I am pregnant. Or rather, my body thinks it is. So I started getting car sick randomly the other week, and it turns out that the hormones I'm on have made my body think it's pregnant. So
nice.
just announcing now that I have a strong, sturdy son on the way. I've named him Borkis, and because the baby will never be born, it means I get to choose who the father is. So watch yourselves, lads, because anyone who crosses me is going on the list.
All right then.
Moving on.
Moving on.
And incredibly uncomfortable content becomes very commonplace in the Gymquisition. And I feel like it's even masking to call these sex jokes. Like, with no reference to the topic at hand, and with no humor, James just starts being randomly obscene.
You can sit there, you big tough guy game bro, looking all haughty with your arms folded, snorting in derision, but who are you fooling, really? What's your performative indignance achieving even? It's just you sat there, alone, watching this on your phone, surrounded by your plastic statues of slasher movie murderers depicted as big titty anime girls. Admit it, you don't just save scum, you are save scum. You're a dirty, pathetic, nasty little puddle of save scumming filth.
Why do they have to find the fattest stock footage art model for that?
It goes on for a lot longer. I am cutting these short, and you don't have to go looking for these, right? Every video, something like this happens, and
it's like every single video there's something. And like Jim has these like weird like old 80 cartoons that he like increases their like resolution with AI. And they're just like there for like reaction images. It doesn't make any sense. It's like, it's just such garbage.
It starts to feel like some type of exhibitionism that the viewer isn't consenting to. And trust me, dear viewer, I am saving you from worse stuff. But I will
That's the big meaty titty protection guard.
show one more clip that is quite alarming.
Now, my extensive research has concluded that you can give your Switch to a nickname, but Nintendo's famous hatred of the something amendment means you can't call it Stephanie's fuckpad. However, you can name it Cunny Stuffers Anonymous, so that's very
What
good
the
news.
fuck? I don't trust anyone that uses the word cunny. That's like a big red flag.
This is totally wretched. This is fucking sickening. And it's not just this. The content has got worse too. All they do is complain about their shit life, and they've adopted such progressive thought that freemium mobile games are no longer predatory, but they are ableist.
Does that become an accessibility matter? I don't know.
So why do they have this crab PNG tuber shit?
I'm just talking through a desperate haze of physical
Like, what's the cringe? What's more cringe, being the PNG tuber or being on camera? Trent Johnson says it's time to introduce Jim to Canadian healthcare.
right now, but I dare say time skips and speed ups are certainly considered enough of a need that ableist freemium games exploit it often enough.
And I don't want to chastise people for addiction, but they have given in to being an exploitable adult. Once a successful gaming YouTuber, they have figured out that they are trans and have ADHD, so now all they're capable of is being a pathetic bed blob. And now any game where you have to figure something out is a chore to them. They want all of their gaming experiences spoon-fed to them like a baby, and they harness progressivism
Hollow Knight, that's a good game,
and accessibility as a reason for this having to exist.
Remembering where to go, what does what, where I needed to head after I got the item that lets me do new stuff. My brain. I'm not asking for a game to be its own walkthrough, but those compasses and mission markers and glowing trails that people complain is spoon feeding and hand holding and casualization. To some of us, it's the difference between playing a game and our brains locking up like Bethesda software at launch.
And here's the thing, Hollow Knight is not for everyone. Silk Song is not for everyone. The game developers said this. They said that there's a reason there's no easy mode on those games. It's because they have a vision for the game. And if you can't deal with it, then just play a different game. You don't have to play their game. You know, there's a million games out there you can go play. Hollow Knight is a great game because of its difficulty. And part of the fun in that is the exploration. Like, that's actually why there's no map initially in Hollow Knight. And this is a fascinating game design because they want you to feel lost and they want you to explore and look around. And there's this very interesting mechanics where there's like zones that are too hard, but you can go there immediately because you're supposed to naturally find out that you're not supposed to be there. Like, oh, this is a very difficult area. I guess I'll go get some power-ups or something. But Jim is just like, no, I need the yellow paint. Give me the yellow paint. Now, I am a proponent for good game design. And I've seen a lot of games that I have bad game design and people are like, no, it's just you need yellow paint. No, it's just because they're bad games. But Hollow Knight and Silk Song are some of the best games designs I think that I've ever seen. They're very, very good. They're some of my favorites, and I've only just got into them recently.
See, I think James now just hates
That reminds me, I've got to finish my Silk Song videos.
every single aspect of the gaming industry, and they hate their job. Like, they have the privilege to act more and more childish, and I think they just want to play with toys all day and be a sexual degenerate, and they loathe the fact that they actually have to work for money. The thank God for me catchphrase and the self-aggrandizing but obviously tongue-in-cheek nature of the Jimquisition has been ripped away to show who James truly is, and now standing there is just a self-entitled maniac. Take, for example, when they did a 10-year retrospective of the Jimquisition. At this point, they'd been losing subscribers, which we'll talk about, don't worry. But it is crazy that they'd done a video a week for 10 years, and celebration was calling.
Like, they got their own rod with a J on it. They got that made for them.
It's a little extra note here, something I remembered. This isn't even fully true. One thing James fails to know is they actually did 2 remastered episodes. So there's been 2 times when James was sick, and they've just reposted an old episode. So they have missed 2 Mondays. But anyway, they can live the lie and just...
That's a slimy thing to do, by the way. Just re-uploading your own videos and saying they've remastered. That's like some quartering tier shit.
Say they've made a new episode a week for a decade, and all they do is just fucking complain about their shit life anyway.
And the other reason it's hard is because, well, I'm fucking tired. I've stressed and pondered and worked and written and talked about all this shit for 10 goddamn years. Don't know if I mentioned it's been 10 goddamn years. It is staggering that I've lasted in the face of YouTube becoming an unviable platform. This channel being basically done.
Remaster your Rings of Power videos. I'll do compilations videos, but like not remaster them. Is it like Rings of Power Season 3's out in like November or something?
And this side of my career not really being something I can just sort of continue on its own. But for the good bits and the shit bits, I have gone the fucking distance. And you know what? I deserve better than I got. I don't care how arrogant that may sound. For all I've accomplished in this business, I deserve more than the business gave out.
What did they...
They were making $15,000 a month, and we're getting 500,000 to 1 million views per fucking upload. Perhaps one of, like, these days, like even today, that much money on YouTube is a lot of fucking money. But like, this is before the adpocalypse and all sorts of crazy things. Like, this was ungodly amounts of money that most people can't even comprehend what it'd be like. I can't, certainly, because I was never a part of this.
Think that they deserve. I really can't figure it out. Again, they did used to do some good work, but now they just create perverted slop. And what, do they want to be paraded around? Do they want to be heralded as a savior of gaming? It's really ugly to see the self-entitlement on display. And fortunately, the general public do seem to see it too. In 2020, James reached the peak of their subscriber count with 900,000, but they have been bleeding them ever since. And currently, they sit at 720,000, roughly 180,000 below their peak. And in a very peculiar attempt to own the haters, James has done milestone videos when they dropped below 900,000 and when they dropped below 800,000 subscribers. The under 900...
Yeah, we did one of those. By the way, it's like, it's just so like strange to see as well, because like the show is still called Jimquisition and the channel tag is Jim Sterling, but then they changed the name to Stephanie Sterling. So it's just like a weird, like, what are you supposed to search for? You're allowed to say Jim Sterling on the channel, or you're going to get banned? Like, what's the deal here?
100,000 special is really just a whole lot of coping about YouTube, saying that they're trying to hide their
like nothing rhymes with Stephanie though, so you can't change it to Stephanie Inquisition. It has to be Jimquisition because it's like it's a combination of the name and the Inquisitioner.
The fact of the matter is, somehow they were still doing fairly good numbers, getting between 150,000 and 300,000 views on a video. Like, doing the same show for a decade with absolutely no innovation apart from becoming a non-binary femme and still expecting to get 1 million views a video or something is just stupid. But the one thing that they will not entertain is that they have changed and that their content has become unwatchable shit.
But it has, like, it is insane. Like, that's why I've got this channel loaded up already. This is what a Jimquisition video looks like now.
Life's not
So you've got like the first 2 minutes is like introduction. Then it's like non sequitur clips.
Why shouldn't Microsoft lay off tens of thousands?
And then you've got like this ugly border and random graphics. It's only there to try and keep you engaged. Like, you've got to have something on screen. Just make a podcast with like voice lines or something moving up and down.
Of the impenetrable wall that
I wonder if I can find like they've got like weird old cartoons like the Smurfs
To
for
make
no reason, just for reaction images. It's like such a like I don't know, random bag of things.
I've also noticed the perception shift among some of my own fans. People who have told me they went off me not because of coming out, but because my content and persona completely changed afterwards. And I'm like, fucking what? was trans before I came out, and literally nothing about the show changed except some videos now have multiple topics per episode.
But the thing is, you can find genuine fans expressing their distaste with James's new content, and they aren't citing their politics, they seem to agree with them. The show is just miserable to watch. They aren't having a fun time trashing stuff, they are just bitter now. And anytime they're not being a queer doing some weird sex stuff, they just seem miserable. And then they do the 800,000 subscriber special, and just look at the setup now, the camera...
Was that really 3 years ago? Did we react to that 3 fucking years ago? Where did the time go?
The mic as well. The production value is just awful. They are so done with it, but they feel the need to defend themselves, and there's no other way to say it. It just reaches lolcow territory.
He's turning trans. His work has been suffering from it. When he started wearing makeup and going on about being non-binary, I had to unsub. It just got too much.
Does this remind me of Japan? What do you mean? There's not a lot of trannies running around in Japan. There are some, but they just call them new heart. It's like a fit. Like it's not a lifestyle in Japan. It's a fetish.
He rocked up in
I mean, it's a fetish in every country. Let's be honest about this.
wig and makeup, and I haven't watched one of his videos since. I guess I'm a massive transphobe. Oh well, yeah, you are. What else have we got? Oh, he's always been a degenerate, open about sexual encounters with men. He's gone in full mental breakdown mode and trans trending. I'd support if he was genuine, but it's rather late in the game now when everyone was coming out 5 years ago. The lipstick, I couldn't click on the thumbnails anymore after that and finally unsubbed one day. Once I saw dudes starting to wear lipstick and shit, I got out of there. Yep, I noped the fuck out of their turd wearing lipstick. I stopped watching him once he started dressing as a girl. It's just too weird for me. Yeah, definitely around the time he started dressing as a woman. I'm not a 10 by any stretch, but he doesn't have the look, nor do I identify like that. Just as much as some try to push that on people, I don't agree with all that and stay in my lane. He's more annoying now.
Like, what is going on here? It starts as though they're going to clap back at the haters, but they do it so limp-wristedly that they just make themselves the subject of mockery. And at times, things weren't all too sweet behind the scenes either. In 2023, James wrote an update post on their Patreon called On Being Hurt and Cutting Ties. Here, James announces that their editor, Justin, is no longer working with them. And James is quite dramatic about this, writing, "I confronted him and cut ties with him over a week ago. And I've been trying to process the whole thing to work out how to talk about it. I can say I put up with a lot over the years. I put up with theft. I put up with manipulative behavior. I put up with being talked about incredibly hurtfully behind my back. When you find out the guy you pay around $30 to $40 an hour for an average of 2 to 3 part days a week, with breaks literally whenever wanted, is telling people you're overworking and underpaying him, and taking money while you've been lending him cash without expectation of payback, and after he spent 6 months free renting your home, well, let me tell you, it hurts."
Rent free. Okay, so what? There was like obviously some weirdo shit going on in that house.
Then they go on to say that Justin had been exploiting and abusing
Nobody stays in a house rent free.
others, but they're not comfortable giving the details. James does say that Justin had been speaking about them behind their back, giving some reason as to why they would write a post like this. And then Justin expectedly responded with their own post, and he tells quite a different story. Justin claims they had been taken on part-time, mainly to make art assets for $1,500 a month.
But what art? It's just like AI upscaled Smurfs and shit.
But quickly, James started giving Justin more and more work, with him basically becoming a full-time producer and editor of all of James's content. Justin would even end up living with James at one point in time and took on more of a personal assistant role, driving them to events. But with this extra work,
there's no way that could backfire. Let's just invite the editor to live with us. What could possibly go wrong?
Justin only negotiated his pay up to $1,800 a month. He claims he was supposed to be doing 2 days of work a week, and that would work out as around $28 an hour, and that this $30 to $40 an hour number was picked out of nowhere. And they claim with all the extra work they do, it became nearer a 40-hour week. In the post, they write, "See, if I was only getting paid for editing those 2 things those 2 days, that means that literally everything else that I was doing for them was unpaid. None of the other podcasts, none of the gameplay videos, and certainly none of the trips taking them everywhere in the past. Those were all freebies suddenly." Basically, that's the thing that James Stephanie Sterling didn't think about. I was either an underpaid full-time worker at $11 an hour, or a decently paid 2-day worker who wasn't paid for a lot of their work. Now, we can't really know the truth there, but another thing that James brings up is that they're in their second marriage now, right? But James brings up that their first wife financially abused them, kind of for...
Not the financial abuse. By the way, like, let's be honest, it's just envy for a real woman, isn't it?
For a reasoning of why they couldn't pay Justin more. James claims they were in a situation where they didn't have access to their own money. They didn't have ownership over their own bank account, and the money they spent was monitored. And they explain this in the post by saying that they are very easily gaslit and terrible at self-advocacy. and that this abusive relationship left them $100,000 in debt. Now, I understand if the roles
I guess that's where the Patreon money went.
were reversed, this wouldn't be a laughing matter. But back then, James was a fella, and they were the one that was taking in all of the money. And I've seen a picture of James's first wife, and they are the most rancid Karen you can imagine. And
I like this guy. What's this guy's name again? Liquid Sonic? Very base
now
so
this just
far.
reads like, one thing you didn't know about me is that I'm completely pathetic. So it's okay that I don't pay
No,
my
I knew
editor
that.
enough.
I
And I
knew
think
that.
that Justin quite fairly
I was well aware of that.
He mentions that James is always buying extravagant junk. James loves to take time and show off toys that they've bought, and just look at their backdrop. And there's always new rotating junk as well, like James is regularly buying pinball machines and figurines, whilst talking about being hard up and asking for sympathy. And the thing is, James brought all of
That's a really good Wojak.
this to light, and will now be forever known as an entitled bad boss that cannot manage
Liquid Sonic hates the casino. Is that true?
people or
It's
money.
in a relatively
I want to
new
touch
channel.
quickly.
What other videos do they have? Do they have anything interesting? Let's take a look. They've got any on the casino? I don't see any so far. I know this video is funny so far.
Upon their wrestling career, much like the Boglin's obsession that I referenced earlier, a huge
Alright, this is actually wild. The pro wrestling thing. That's like this weird LARP that Jim does, where he dresses up as like this monstrous wrestler and just crushes people. Like
amount of the Jimquisition airtime is spent just patting themselves on the back for their shitty wrestling. I don't know anything about wrestling because I am not a closeted homosexual, but unsurprisingly, people seem to think that James is not very good at it.
And look at how he's chokeslamming that poor lady. Like,
look at this, like fucking destroys this person. Look at this. They look scary too with this big fucking star on their face.
not even caring about her safety at all.
Blank. Just like bam. Wrestling is gay though.
Like, she lands right on her head, which, of course, you're not supposed to land on your head.
Just look at where they're doing this as well. What wrestling ring has trash lying
This really is the UK.
around next to it? It looks like an Antifa drug den or something.
It is. It probably is.
And also, unsurprisingly, they bring their gender identity into the wrestling ring. They do podcasts about queer, trans, and disability visibility in wrestling, because what we need is more big gay disabled people pretending to chokeslam each other. And nowadays, James does have some type of a writing career. They have worked on Quantum Witch, Date Everything, and Vampire Survivors.
Wait,
you see
really?
the likes of Laura Kate Dale and Jim Sterling getting work in the games industry, but I don't think it should be too demotivating.
How do they keep popping up in the game industry? Like for
Now, I
real?
couldn't say to what extent, but I do believe the anti-woke narrative that DEI hires are making game development and companies worse. But I do think something gets overlooked. There's a type of
trans people hate women the most, obviously.
autism that these people have that makes them present and create in these ways that are quite unfortunate. But what goes along with this is a personality type of being incredibly self-important and unable to feel shame. This allows them to jam their foot in the door and claim that they are the person for the
Like imagine actually being slammed into by this person.
job, even when their credentials are absolute shit.
This book is the culmination of years of butt-based research.
So to the autistic needs in the audience that I imagine there are a few
They're speaking to us.
of, just try to shut the shame off and trick your ways into positions of power. But with this, the gym
I mean, that's unironically good advice. It's shifty as hell though. Let's listen to that again. Like, I won't do this because I have morals, but some of you in the chat maybe want to take advantage of this.
Culmination of years of butt-based research.
So to the autistic needs in the audience that I imagine there are a few of, just try to shut the shame off and trick your ways into positions of power.
Yeah,
But
just lie. It's actually like a really good strategy. Now, I think that society will fall apart if we all do that, but it is very effective if a few people do it. For them.
with this, the Jimquisition now has infrequent uploads. And I think James made a great decision to do this. The show took a few months break not uploading, and now they seem to release once a month or whenever James feels like it. I'm not 100% on that, but the quality is noticeably better. Now, I'm not saying I'd watch it or there's redemption in sight for James, but at least they don't just sound fed up. And I think people want to hear James say, we're going to stand up and fight against the bad practices, not, I'm so miserable, everything's pointless.
Anyway, today's video is one that I hope will
Well, they became the bad practices.
be good. I feel awful. I am sweating.
Like, what was that thing that someone said a while back where it's like, why there's so many degenerate rich people? It's because there's no end game in real life. And when you finally level up to max level, you've got nothing to do. So you start just doing weird shit. Is that what happened? Did Jim get all the money from the Patreon and the millions and millions of views? And then they just have like, well, there's nothing else to do. I may as well tune out and go on this wild rampage.
Like nobody's business. I'm not very well at all. The chronic pain is terrible. I slept on my neck weird, and now I've got some sort of pinched nerve or something. I don't want to be here. On the plus side, my hair looks fantastic.
Didn't ask. Now talk about Bobby Kotick and his association with Jeffrey Epstein already.
I like this Luke Exotic guy. He's funny.
And now when it comes to James Stephanie Sterling, I'm pretty sure there's going to be stuff I have missed, good and bad. So do let me know, because I'm thinking of doing a follow-up stream to cover any of James's funny little moments that I didn't get to here. So stick around for that. Like the video if you liked it, and there'll be...
I did like that video. That's a good video. I'm going to check in with this guy. Now, this Edge Runners thing is going to happen in like a minute. I guess we may as well watch it, but I think we'll watch it on Kick, because I don't know if there'll be like some anime titties or something in it or something. I don't know. So if you want to join us over on Kick, I'll post the Kick link in the... Wait, how do I find this? I'll post... Oh, my computer's fucking up as well. You can hear it complaining. All right, let me get the fan control. You got YouTubers, you got like a minute to get over to Kick. And then we're just going to wait until this Cyberpunk thing happens and see it. It's like the bonus show, okay? It's Monday, okay? Oh, it's starting now. You've got a minute and 55 seconds, chat, to get your ass over to Kick. All right, I disabled the fan. Join us on Kick for post show. I'm praying this is good. Please be good. All right, see ya YouTube. Say goodbye. Spam those bees, Kick, to prove to the YouTubers that it's better over on Kick. Peace.